Zeke did that beat. Did that beat. Zeke did that beat. Zeke did that beat.
I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. Nah, nah. I'll be okay. Okay, okay. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Okay, okay.
Zeke did that beat.
I'm so fly, 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 I'm so fly.
Oh, there we go. It will help if I turn my microphone on. Hey, good morning, everybody. Do I look tired? I am so tired. When I tell y'all, I have not been to sleep trying to do something for this live cast. So good morning to everybody. It's morning time. It's Monday morning. It's March the 10th, I believe. March 10th. It's 7:32 in the morning. And according to my calculations, it's still 6:32 in the morning because that hour of sleep that we lost. I seen a meme online here on Facebook, and it was like the hour of sleep that we lost was the hour that I was going to use to get my life together. So yeah, there's that. Hey y'all, what's up everybody? Good to see y'all this morning. Hey, Piglet is on with me this morning. Hey Piglet, she's watching from Facebook. She says, good morning. I definitely want to give honor to her. Good morning, Brunny Cat. What's up? What's up? Good morning over on the YouTube, people. Good to see y'all, man. I'm so happy to see y'all. Y'all remember that we got a show. Oh, man, that's so cool because low-key, I almost forgot. I'm telling you, man, I'm tired. It's just Monday. Monday is Monday. It's just what it is. But I'm grateful to God for another Monday. I hope y'all are happy for another Monday. I'm going to have some coffee. So y'all going to see me taking sips of this quite often because my goodness, how did y'all do with the, I'm wondering, how did y'all do with the time change? How did y'all do with the time change? I mean, spring forward is cool until, you actually got to wake up that hour early. That's kind of crazy. So I wonder, how did y'all do with the time change? I don't know that I did so well with it. I don't know that I did so well with the time change. I did not go to bed on Saturday night like I should have. Had to get up for school. And for school, you see what I'm talking about? Yeah. Had to get up for church and talk about school. But we did have Sunday school, so I guess that counts as school. So boom. I know what I'm talking about. Shout out to John Johnson. Good morning to you. I think I figured it out, John. Are you watching me on my page? If you watching me on my page, that comes up as public. But I had to figure out how to do the comments for YouTube and for. That's a Bronya. Oh, I didn't know who Brony Cat was. I just loving people. That's all. Yes, YouTube is better. So what's up? I'm glad to know you on here with me. Hey, good to see you this morning. Hey, look, Piglet, I feel you. Was tired, didn't go to work. I feel you. It was just, but I still got up. So we had Sunday school 9 a.m. We don't call it Sunday school. We call it Bible application, right, in my church. So we had Bible application at 9 a.m. Then, of course, I had to finish getting myself together. We do that on Zoom, so, I get a little bit of time to kind of do double duty, right? I'm on there listening to that while I'm in the shower and doing all that, getting dressed. But then, of course, I got to drive to church. Got a quick rehearsal, make sure church service is going to be all right. Then we had service. We had a rehearsal after service because next week we got a Women's Day. Shameless plug. I'll have some flyers going into the week. But, if anybody's in the Chicago area and wants to come out for that, it's going to be a cool time. It's going to be a cool time. But anyways, we had rehearsal for that because they're doing like a mass choir for the women, like a women's choir. So I had to be at that rehearsal. And then after that, we had a meeting at just like media team and music team and all that. We meet every second Sunday. So we had that. Then I got on home. And when I say knocked out, the problem with knocking out on that Sunday nap is that if you got to get up Monday morning, then my goodness, like, I wake up in the middle of the night, then I'm just up. So I haven't been officially to bed. Legit. I promise you that. Man, let's see. The track that's playing, it depends which one. So the one that was playing right before this one, I did make. So all the tracks that were playing before, I made all of those. This one actually just came with StreamYard. So it's kind of been one that we just default to. We like it. Linda, what's up? Good to see you. Hey, yo, hope all is well. Good to see you. I'm glad you're on here with us. Hey, listen, everybody. Do me a favor. I need y'all to do me a huge favor. I need you to... Okay, so y'all can see this. I'm trying to do something where we just like starting your morning off right. We're trying to do a little thing, right? So I have special guests that come in, trying to do this thing consistently every morning. So do me a favor, because y'all that's on here right now, the ones that's on with me live right now, y'all been on with me. This is your 4th day in a row, and that's like blessing my heart, for real. Do me a favor. Let's spread this out to some other folks, you know what I'm saying? So that let's spread this out to some other folks so that they can see it. And we want to just kind of grow it and make it into a thing, and hopefully one day it'll be a thing. Y'all see, I kind of like fixed my background. I don't know if y'all can see the background the way I see it. I don't know. Let me look at my live. Let me look at my live cast on here. I don't know if y'all see it the way I see it. But okay, of course, this is gonna be weird. Anyways, so I'm trying to like do some stuff. I'm trying to make it happen. But y'all see y'all see that? That's cool, right? So, I do what I can. I'm not an interior designer or anything, but I do what I can when I can do it. So we got some special. Oh, wait. Okay, so I can't see it. Okay. And then, I didn't want to say it unless it wasn't there, in case it wasn't there. I got like on the side. So you see with my YouTube, my Facebook, my Instagram. So this is what I need y'all to do. Do me a favor. Spread the word. Like, share it. I think we worked out one of the bugs that we've been having on Facebook. I think we worked that out. But I want to encourage you to go over to YouTube. Thank you, Piglet. I so much appreciate that. Y'all, by the way, we call her Piglet because that's the name. That's the Nick Ground. The nickname, the Nick Ground. I'm reading the comment here. I love the background. Thank you. Thank you, Bronya. We call Piglet because that's what she told us to call her when we met. So that's just what we always call her. Thanks, Janine. I appreciate it. Yeah, share it. I want to encourage you to go to YouTube. And YouTube will I don't got the YouTube following, and I'm trying to build that up. So help me in that cause. But I want you to subscribe on my YouTube page because it'll give you the notification. That I want you to follow if you're on Facebook or Instagram. I want you to hit that follow button. I want to encourage you to go to my Facebook page. If you're my Facebook friend, I got no problem with that. You're on my profile. That's all fine, well, and good. But I want to start moving a lot of this stuff over to, you know how it goes. You want to move it over to the YouTube and the profile, the stuff that's geared to this kind of stuff. I mean, the page is geared to this kind of stuff, whereas my profile can be geared to more personal things. And you stay my friend on there, that's fine. But, I want to do this stuff over there. So we're going to start moving it over time. But for now, it's cool to survive. I hear y'all love the background. I hear y'all love the music. Yo, thanks, Abronia, for sharing. Y'all are blessing my soul. I promise you. Listen, y'all, we got some good stuff that we're going to get into today. I got a friend of mine that's coming on. He's my pastor, Pastor Bill Ellis. He's going to come on a little bit later on. Of course, y'all know we got AP Rich. He's going to come on. And I think Eric is coming on. He's not in the waiting room yet. He's usually here by now, but he might be here. But if he's not, he's got some other stuff he got to do. As y'all know, like, it's not like we get paid for this and nothing like that. We just getting on because it's something to do. For me, it's something to do every morning. I try to figure out what's the most consistent thing I can do on social media. I'm telling y'all right now, I don't care for social media like that. But this is about the most consistent thing I could think to do every day on social media. It gives me a reason to get up in the morning. It gives me a reason to just talk and just get a bunch of random ideas off. It gives me the opportunity and the chance to see some other folks and some of my friends and reminisce on some of those stories and hopefully give y'all some encouragement to start your day off. So we got Pastor Bill that's going to come on. Rich is going to be on a little bit later. I might even have another special guest today, but we don't know. I asked the question, where is Eric Rideout? And Piglet says, probably asleep. That's that hour. Yo, I want to thank y'all for all the hearts and all the love and everything else like that. So now let's get into it. So real deal, it's the weekend. I mean, we had the weekend. It's the new week. I've had no sleep, so just get used to that. So it's the new week. We just came off the weekend, right? Some people went to church, some people went to brunch. It is what it is. Saturday, it was a nice day. It was out and about. The sun was shining, doing all that kind of stuff. But all in all, we lost that hour of sleep. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what are y'all doing to recover from that hour of sleep? Especially my church folks. Because church folks, y'all know how we do. We got to get up early, especially if you're a church musician or something like that. Y'all know how that is. So just real talk. Let me know. What did y'all do to recover from that lost hour of sleep? Because I said it earlier. I did not go to sleep on Saturday night like I should have. I fell asleep, then I woke up in the middle of the night and I was just up. Like, yeah. And then I did the same thing last night, like on Sunday night. So here I am on Monday, just 2 days in a row. It takes my body a minute to regulate. But I will say this. One thing I do love about the daylight saving is that this afternoon or this evening, it won't get dark so early. So I like that. I can live with that. Coffee break. But let me know. What y'all do? What did y'all do to recover from it? Yeah. Because, I need some suggestions. I need some hints. Yeah. So over the course of this weekend, we were kind of talking about it. Me, Rich, Eric, we were talking about what we're going to do. Like I said, when Rich gets here, we'll discuss some of this stuff. I'm trying to hold off on some of it until I get there. Piglet said she slept early. I can feel that. I slept too early. That's the problem. Like, when do you regulate between what is early and what is too early? Like, because falling asleep at 5:30 p.m. and being asleep till like 9:30, too early. Woke up at 9:30, ain't been back to bed since. Like, can't go to sleep, can't buy sleep. But My goodness, I need some suggestions. You know what I mean? But we were talking about me, Rich, Eric. We were talking through just kind of what what we can do for this to make it into a show, to make it into a thing, to just have some fun with it. And so we're talking through some stuff, and I do want to bring something up a little bit later, but I'm going to wait until Pastor Bill gets on a little bit later on, because I want to see what he thinks about it. We got a clip from Pastor Jamal Harrison Bryant. If you don't know who he is, he's the pastor of, not in Baltimore. He's, I was going to say Lakewood. That is Houston. My goodness. The pastor of New Birth, Eddie Long's old church out in Atlanta, Georgia. I was mixing everything all up. I don't know where I got Lakewood from, but so he's the pastor at New Birth, and he's always in the media, like when he's doing stuff. I mean, he's had some controversies, he's had some great sermons. He's a big leader though in the black church and the black community. So he was on The Breakfast Club, and if you know anything about The Breakfast Club, that's a big show out in New York, big radio show. So it was he had some stuff that he said. I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't watched the entire interview yet, but I did watch a clip, and I thought he said some real interesting stuff. So I do want to bring that up a little bit later on. But if you've seen that Jamal Harrison Bryant interview on The Breakfast Club, I'd love for you to share your thoughts, share your comments. Now, I will say this much: we'll get into different stuff. We'll talk about different topics, stuff that just is just current and everything else like that. But one thing, I told Rich this, I told Eric this, I said one thing I can't do, real talk, I can't bash people just for the sake of bashing people. So I don't want a space that's like that. But it's like, what do you think? Like, because we got different perspectives, we got different sides. All black people ain't a monolith, all white people ain't a monolith, all church people ain't a monolith, all black church people ain't a monolith. Like, we got different perspectives, we got different thoughts, we got different ideas. All right, real talk. So okay, so we'll talk about that later on. I love to hear your thoughts. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to play the clip a little bit later on, but I'm going to play the clip when Pastor Bill gets on and Rich gets on, because I want to hear them as two pastors. I want to hear them kind of maybe have some conversation and some dialogue around these particular subjects. Y'all know what we're talking about with Donald Trump. Y'all do me a favor real quick. Y'all give big hands and applause to my man's Eric Rideout. He's not here yet, but he's joining in a moment. But he's watching with us, so y'all give him a shout out. He's watching with us. And I'm going to bring something up here, something else that I did over the weekend, because I got to talking about some of the stuff that I did on the weekend. But I do want to say to my Instagram people, because y'all, we get a lot of people that watch in and out on Instagram, and I'm not as adept to commenting on Instagram stuff. I can see all my comments from YouTube and Facebook right here in the app, but Instagram, I got to kind of do a couple extra things, and so I'm not seeing those comments as quickly. So if I miss those comments, or if I don't give as much deference to my Instagram people, I want y'all to know good morning to you. I see you. I just see you a little bit later. May not come when you want me, but I'm still a little bit late. So I ain't God. Like, God is always on time. I'm still late. Like, I don't come when you want me because I was late. But no, I got to do like some additional stuff to see the comments on Instagram. So like, I got to like go to my app or go to my phone and try to look around here and see it on the other screen up here. Like, I got to be in the right screen. It's just a whole thing with Instagram. StreamYard and Instagram, they need to get that together. I hope they can do that in the future. So it makes it a little bit easier. And I would love to post the Instagram comments up here, because real talk, Instagram is where it's at. And y'all know this. That's where people really do their thing, So I would love to, get those comments up on the screen. So hopefully one day StreamYard to get that right. But as it stands right now, I mean, I gotta figure it out. So it takes me a minute. But, that is what it is. So this weekend, I asked a series of questions. And I'll ask questions sometimes just because I like people to just think. And if I'm being real, I just be thinking about different stuff. Like I be wondering different stuff, and when I wonder stuff, I go about it, I think about it, I pray about it, I study about it, I just do a bunch of different stuff, and I kind of play both sides. I look at all sides, not even both sides. There's more than two sides to anything. So I play as many sides as I can to try to get a deeper understanding. I'm if nothing else, I'm still a Christian, and so the Bible says, and all you're getting, get understanding. And you can't really get real understanding unless you try to look at all different sides. And so, I've got some questions that I ended up asking. Now, I thought that I sent myself a screenshot of this, but I guess I didn't. So I'll just, let me go to my Facebook page and remember what the questions that I asked. Well, I asked 2 different questions this weekend, and I think I might start doing that again because if I be thinking about this stuff, other people be thinking about it too. And it's crazy because when I see the different responses, you see different perspectives. And what's also crazy is that I think some people have perspectives. Now, I haven't gotten this as much because I don't check my box as much as I used to. But some people have perspectives that, frankly, they're ashamed of. And that's okay. That's okay. And they're ashamed of it for different reasons. People are ashamed of it because they're scared of what the church might say, what the parents might think. They're just questioning themselves and not confident with coming out with it. So people send stuff to my inbox and all of that. But nonetheless, it shows there's just different perspectives. So let me pull this up right quick. Let me see. Let me get to my profile. Because I put these questions on Facebook. So let me see. The first one that I asked, I feel like this was Saturday. Yeah. So I asked the first question. I said, is the devil omnipresent? So I'll go through a few of the responses that I had here. I ain't gonna read all of them, but I'll go through a few of the responses that I had here. And because I love to address this when we get pastors on the live cast this morning, I love to be able to address this. But I asked the question, is the devil omnipresent? And okay, so I'll be honest with you. I just got to be honest. We live, so it is what it is, right? So honestly, I was really shocked. So I asked the question. I was really, really shocked that out of everyone, there was some no's, there was some yeses. Well, not yeses, but there were no's. There was that. But on the other end of it, though, I was shocked that no one brought up a single Bible verse. So it's crazy. We got all these responses about the devil. I will mention this though. Shout out to Ricardo. That's my guy. He did bring up. He did reference a scripture, Prince of the Air. Okay, so I'll give him that. But and I'm not trying to answer the question per se, as much as I was just trying to see what other people think, right? And I'm not saying I'm, judging the answer because it doesn't have Bible verse on it. But I will say, people reference Bible, without directly referencing it, of course. So that's a thing. But yeah. Most people, of course, said no. But I'm curious what y'all really think. And, here's the thing. The reason I'm really curious about it is because I'm curious from the standpoint of, why do you think that? You know what I mean? It's one thing to think it. Why do you think it? Did you study that? Did your pastor teach you that? Did you get a revelation from God? I don't know. I'm curious. Now, Eric was in the background. I was just going to bring him up. Y'all pray for Eric. Y'all pray for him, man. So that was the first question. I asked that one on Saturday or Sunday morning. I don't know. Again, I'll be up. Oh, there you go. He back. I brought that up, because that was my Saturday, right? Whatever time in the middle of the night that I posted that. So that was Saturday, and then yesterday I asked the question. I want to word it properly. I know what I asked, but I want to word it properly. Is it okay for a man to be a stay-at-home husband or father, even if it means he can't contribute financially? And we had some different responses that were in there for that one. This is on Facebook again. We had some different responses that were in there for that one. Most people said, it depends on your own situation and what works. But I had an interesting response from a friend of mine from Africa, Becky. and Pastor Ken. Shout out to them out in Kenya, over in Eastern Africa. Shout out to them. Becky says in Africa that would strip you of respect. As the man of the house, respect flies out the window. I clearly cannot see. Respect flies out the window as you watch. In short, a man must try. A man must provide for the most basic needs in his household. A man must have something economic going on. A man must be the man unless he is incapacitated health-wise. But a healthy man must lead from the front. Tough being a man in Africa. I don't know about America. Crazy, right? We got different, because all my American people, with the exception of a couple, said that, yeah, it just depends on what you got going on in your own house. And then that perspective comes in, from an African perspective. And so I'm wondering, what do you think? So if you feel free, feel that in the comments. Let us know what you think. Let's see here. I am going to shout out to my girl Rhonda on the racks. Yeah, Rhonda on the racks. I am reading things. I told y'all I ain't slept last night, so that's why I need to bring co-host on here. Let's get Eric right out on this joint. Rhonda, we will definitely talk off screen. The reason I wanted to bring her up and give her a shout out because she'll be with us on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. So please do me a favor and make sure you set your stuff for Wednesday and make sure you're here with Rhonda on the rocks. That's my girl from a long time ago. And I'm telling you, she is not only smart, not only funny, but she's just dope. She's awesome sauce, and she has her own podcast. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to go down memory lane a little bit. We just going to have some fun. She's got a dope theme song. I can't share it, but hopefully she'll let me share it on Wednesday with y'all, because it's dope. Listen, it was on repeat in my car. I can't even lie. All right. Y'all do me a favor. Put some hearts up. We got my man's Eric right out. Eric Jevon, he's coming to the stage. Do me a favor. Put some hearts up. Yeah, let him know that you're glad to see him. E, what's up, brother?
What's going on?
What's crackalacking? You must be riding, huh?
Oh, no. Actually, no, I'm sitting in the car.
Oh, you in a car? Oh!
Yeah, I'm sitting in it. Because I have to do, and just so people know before they start clowning on me, I know I have this shirt on. There's the first thing, but this is something I have to wear when I go into the field, so don't think I ain't got no clothes.
You got a muffly signal going on a little bit there. Are you talking through your car speakers, maybe?
Oh, hold on. Let me take that off.
Let's see.
What about now?
Oh, yeah, that's way better.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Okay, what about now?
Yeah, that's better than what it was earlier. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Are you out on the scene today? See, I like that. This is one thing I do like about StreamYard. We could be like out on the scene, like we can. You know what we should do, bro? We should do like live interviews with people, like on the street. Like,
oh yeah.
Just ask them a random dumb question.
And just so people know, what I had said earlier was, I'm out doing something in the field for my job. So this is the shirt we wear. So the other day I had a conference call and I had this same shirt on when I was live. So I didn't want people to think I don't have no other shirts and no clothes.
Anybody would remember? Look, okay. So since we in the same shirt confessing mode, this is the same shirt I had on from church yesterday. I fell asleep, bro. So here's the thing. I fell asleep at I got home at like 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Mm-hmm. Fell asleep like 5:30, 5:45. My wife had cooked some stuff, so I ate, so I fell asleep like 5:45-ish. Stayed asleep, woke up at like 9:30 something. Mm-hmm. Ain't been back to sleep since. Like,
wow. That's like me, because I've been up. I couldn't sleep last night, man. I fell asleep around like midnight, and then Jesus. I forgot I had a meeting here at one of my stores. See what I do. For those of you that think I just do music stuff, I do make my money in the music industry. That's some great money, but you got to have benefits out here in these streets. So
that part.
I do HR for a company that works inside of the Home Depot. I run like 8. Well, I had 6 states, but now I'm supposed to be up to probably 12 in a couple of days. So I'm on site visiting some new hires, people that are hired. And they're doing good. But it's just early because I had to be here at 5 a.m. to meet with them. I'm done by 1 o'clock, but still.
Oh, that's dope then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And normally I work at home. I don't have to go to the field that often.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Did you how'd you fare out with the lost hour of sleep?
I'll be honest with you. I forgot it was happening, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And, I ended up your phone automatically does it for you.
Yeah, right. Your phone does it, yeah.
And that had me up last night because I was panicking. I said, I gotta get up. And am I gonna remember to, to me it was dumb to get up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Change the phone and then go back to sleep. So I just prayed that my phone did and it did. So I was on time this morning. So I'm sitting here in the parking lot and I want to jump on.
That's what she said.
Dang, I was about to say it too. I was about to say you beat me to it.
All right. As y'all see, Monday mornings me and Eric are inappropriate. So it
get worse. And so then also, hold on. Somebody just sent me a comment. Separate comment I can see. No, for your information, no, I don't. Somebody said, I didn't know your eyes were light brown. Do you have on contacts? Like, no, this is my eye color. People always have on glasses. I have very beautiful eyes, people. Very beautiful to be my skin color. These beautiful light brown.
They do shine real hazel in the sun. That is a thing. Oh man.
Yeah. Most people don't know since I always wear glasses. I take off my glasses. That's how they are. I've always had light brown eyes.
When I said that's what she said, Piglet said she praying for us because we're inappropriate.
Too late.
Too late. We already said it.
Yeah, it's already said it. And if she says something, in the comments, I'm gonna say it to her too. What was the topic, man? I missed what you were talking about earlier. Something about staying.
Oh yeah, so I had, this weekend, sometimes I like to ask controversial questions, and it ain't because I'm trying to be controversial. It's just because I be waking up thinking about random stuff. That's what happens when you don't sleep, So I asked 2 questions this weekend, right? I asked 2 questions, and I got most people responded with the same thing. So the first question I asked was, is the devil omnipresent? Mm-hmm. That's the first thing I asked. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I was asking. So here's the background behind it. I wasn't just being, weird. Like I was asking because it seemed like, you ever seen people who they give you these testimonies, like these prophets, they come in, they give these testimonies like, I was talking to the devil himself and he was doing such and such, da-da-da. Well, if it's like only one devil and he's not omnipresent, then how can this prophet be talking to the devil last night and this other prophet be talking to the devil at the same time on the other side of the world? Like that either implies omnipresence or somebody lying. Either the devil, either the demon was lying about being the actual devil, or the prophet was lying about talking to the devil. Right.
Somebody
or the devil is omnipresent. It can't be. It's got to be something. So I don't think I care what people believe either way. It was just one of them random things that make you go like what do people actually believe? So I put it out there, and most people said no. What do you think?
I think what you just said was the second one. The first answer was the best. Either the prophet was lying, or the pastor, whoever said it, or the demon that came in was lying. Because it's not like a demon gonna tell the truth.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of lying prophets out here too, though.
And there's a lot of them. And what cracked me up about them, the prophets that lie, is when they lie and then they come back and say, "Well, I didn't give a date, or I didn't say when." Like, no, you said it. And or then when what they say happened to pass. And I'm not saying the prophetic word is not real, because it is, but the fake ones, it's so many fake ones that it almost and it's sad that we're like this. This is something we talked about the other day. Eastern belief of the Bible and Western belief.
Yeah. Different views. Yeah.
Eastern written book through Western thinking and ways of thinking. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So to understand, we have to understand their culture, what they were, even though things apply to us, a lot of people don't, we don't do it that way. And what's happening is there's been so many fake ones. We remember when the Trump stuff was happening, and they're like, Trump was going to win, and he lost. And they held them almost say the name. Them fools held on to that for 4 years. Now they saying, see, we told you. No, that ain't what you said. You said he would be the president for 2 terms back to back. It didn't happen. You was wrong. You've had a few with enough respect to apologize and say, yeah, I was wrong. And so I said that to say how now, because there's so many fake prophetic words, that when the real prophet comes, we automatically go into our skeptical, the church thing. Like, just like if you see a pastor, young pastor that's doing well and this church is growing, first thing people say, what do you got going on? There's something to it over there.
Right,
why
right.
The church is growing. Why can't it be he's doing what he's supposed to do? So I feel like just like there's a very popular prophetic pastor who is very accurate. I'm not going to say his name, but it's all over social media now. And the other day, he was prophesying. I mean, when I say his prophetic words are accurate, it's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But even, there's a fine line in the spiritual world anyway. When you're dealing, because you can go too far to the left, now you're into divination. You're into something different. Or you go too far to the right and you're overdoing it. And this particular prophet was ministering and told this lady, I hear a voice and she's telling you to tell you she's all right. And I'm like,
oh, yeah, I seen that clip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. The Bible clearly says we don't talk to the dead. So who is she that you're hearing from? She said, tell you I'm all right. What you done got off into. See, that right there. And see, even though for years he's been dead accurate on it, right now, people see this thing, man. We got to be careful. We say God is telling us and what God is saying, because you do something weird and off like that. Even if I'm the most basic Christian person and I can read, I clearly read where it says we don't communicate. The dead is dead. We don't talk to them people. You ain't talking to your ancestors when my great grandma came and sat on the foot of our bed. That ain't your grandma. She ain't never came to see you. Grandma dead. That's not her. But when he did that, now people are looking at him like, wait a minute, now all other stuff. See, and that's the thing. You can have one mistake, and now people throwing them in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying, okay, yeah, that was a little bit off what he said, but he's been on point. Maybe he just had a bad day. Maybe he was gotten his emotions, was hyped up, like, ooh, I'm gonna say something, So I'm just on, when it comes to that, man, I believe in the prophetic word because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen even with you, and people say stuff to you that I've seen happen or seen to myself that happen. I remember years ago, man, I was directing a youth choir for the state. And this guy, I was in the middle aisle on this big old, back then, you know how I used to go to big convocations. And they had this big platform. I was on the platform. This big old youth choir. I was directing, I think it was Hezekiah Walker, somebody saw. And the guest speaker got up and was like, hey, got us up on the pedestal. And he said, you are working in music, but God is about to take you to a place where you're going to work around people that other ones of us dream about being around. You're going to deal with and famous gospel singers, and these singers will be coming to you for advice and coming to you for help. And I'm like, I ain't know nothing. I wasn't working in it like that, at the time. I was just a fan of music. And now look, everything this man told me, I'm doing it.
Now you a legend in the game. You a legend in the game, bro. Like you a legend in the game.
Right. That's the thing. That's the thing.
I'm gonna know.
No, somebody said that the other day. And I'm like, that's kind of true. Because there's not an artist out, new or old, that I haven't been in connection with or have some connection with, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Even some of these new artists, people say, oh, have you ever heard it? Yeah, I heard it in my talk. They inboxed me the other day. How do you get your information? I don't know. They manager reached out to me. But so that's that part. And then your other thing was about being a stay-at-home husband, right?
Yeah. So the other one I brought up, I said, is it okay? Huh?
I said, I didn't know if people were making comments, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not doing it from, like normally I have my computer and my phone. I'm doing everything from this phone. So.
Oh, yeah. No, that's all good. Check this comment out right here. Shout out to Pastor Robinson, Pastor Allen A. Robinson. We just lost Eric. He done clicked himself off. Shout out to you, Pastor Allen. Good to see you as always. Yeah, let me tell y'all something about him. This is one of the nicest people, like just nice. Y'all know some pastors, some preachers, they just mean. Or I ain't gonna say mean. It comes off a little mean to some people, but it's like arrogant and it's just kind of Like, not you. Like, I appreciate it. I've always appreciated that about you. You've always shown love. So shout out to you. I love that comment you just made, though. You said that's absolutely divination. To be honest, a hard 80% of what we're seeing today is that. Yet we still believe God. And that's like, to me, so that's a conversation worth having. I really honestly believe that's a conversation worth having, because I do think, oh, Eric just made it back on. He just made it back on. That is a conversation worth having, because I won't even dive off into that, because I already got somebody I want to talk about that with. You back?
That's what happened when I literally just said I don't know how to work it. And see, it was like, don't push the red button because you shouldn't touch it. And I said, look at this button, and I literally said, I'm on my phone, so I don't know how to do it. And some said, just push that. And I did it anyway. But what's the other thing about being a father that works?
Yeah. Is it okay for a man to stay at home as a stay-at-home father or husband? Like, he basically takes care of the home. Like, he essentially what traditional culture roles is that the wife stays at home, does the cooking, the cleaning, the taking care of the kids, all that kind of stuff. Like, is the homemaker, right? And then the husband goes out, and it's the husband who is the money maker, right? But now, we live in a different society and culture, right? So you got women, and just so we know this, during Women's History Month, Black women are the most educated group of people in America, which means they come in with good jobs. They coming in like they got MBAs, they got doctorates, they got PhDs. Like, they're coming in and they're getting jobs and things that make big bucks. And so, say you want to start a family and stuff like that, it's not uncommon for a husband to say to his wife when he's ready to have children and stuff like, babe, I want you to come off the workforce so you'll be able to raise the kids, da. Well, I feel like this: if I'm making $75,000 a year, right, as a husband, and my wife is pulling in 150 with room to grow, like what, like that ain't even, to me, that don't even make sense for me to ask her to come off the job when it's like, no, I'll take care of home. Like, you keep making the money, I'll make sure the house is good.
I think, man, I honestly feel like, I know, of course, like you said, we know the biblical dynamic is what the man should be doing, but the Bible just simply says that the man is to provide for the family. But provision is not only money. A man can provide in other ways: emotional support, teaching, training, structure, emotional support. So you're still providing the service. I know traditionally they say we're supposed to work, but
but also traditionally women didn't have that kind of agency. Like, it wasn't like women could just go get a job. Like, and if she could, it wasn't like it was going to be like the CEO of a corporation with a multi. Like, I mean, these are things that didn't even exist, right? Like, if you got a wife who can legitimately get a job working with, like billionaires and other stuff like that, because that's what her life takes her down. And so she's able to like have this kind of growth. That stuff didn't even exist.
It didn't
in the Bible days. Like, and then when it did start existing, also men, like, they did not let women in those spaces. And now that's been broken. So it's like, if you find a wife who can like have that kind of earning potential, and your earning potential is, lower, to me, it's like, yeah, like, nah, baby, you go make that money. Like, the Lord give it.
Look, if I was married to somebody and she was making $200,000 a year, and she says, hey, I don't want you to have to work. All right, it's fine. I'll take care of the house. That means that I would still take that and work on something that I want to do. Yeah. Now I'm gonna do my business. So I'm still gonna contribute, but it's just like, what's the one lady who her husband, she's what's her face? She smile all the time.
Who?
What's her name?
Oh, Tabitha Brown.
Yeah, like her and her husband. Remember, she said, "Oh, come off your job," and he worked. So she could go to school and do everything she was doing. Then she turned around like, "Hey, I got the money now. You come off your job and do your dream." And it's working. It's working. So, no, I wouldn't feel. I'd care less what anybody saying about me. I'm living in this house, driving this kind of car. Talk about me all you want to. I wouldn't care. But but at the same time, I wouldn't just sit back like, oh, she worked and kick my feet up. No.
Yeah. That's different. Because at the same time, as a husband, if you was working and your wife wasn't on the job, You wouldn't want her doing that, just sitting back kicking her feet. Like, no, like take care of my home.
Some active, do something, man. Outside of children. Now, maybe let me go back to school, or let me, I want to do this business. Let me research this and start making the calls and working on this. So when she come home, she don't feel like, man, I didn't worked all day and I'm sitting back playing PlayStation. Come in, oh man, ooh, you look tired. What's for dinner? No, that means you got to switch that role. If you gonna stay at home, then sir, you need to be making the food when she come home. You need to do part.
Exactly.
You can't roles reverse and do part of the role. That's
exactly. I know one thing me and my wife kind of agreed to as we were, talking about marriage, and like before we even said the I do's and stuff, one of the things we really just said is like, there's no me, there's no you. It's just like we won, literally means one. So it's like whoever gonna make the most money, boom, do that. Whoever can take care of the home best, boom, do that. Whoever can keep up with the bills the best, boom, you do that. Whoever can be the mouthpiece, boom, do that. I mean, it's just like, what are your strengths just as an individual person? Because you bring those strengths. We felt like if we brought those strengths together, like truly together, then it wasn't about man versus woman. It was about two people becoming one. And then whatever best qualities you have, you give automatically to the other. And so y'all have exponential growth as opposed to just, 1 + 1 is no longer 2. 1 + 1 is like 10 at that point. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the way we looked at it.
Yeah, marriage is a partnership. It's a partnership, and it's a sole owner corporation. It's its own thing at the same time. Two people making one thing. And back when I was married, my thing was, we came to think, I handle this, and we sat down, had the same conversation. Okay, I'm gonna do this, that, and other. You do this, that, and other. Fine, I did my role. I didn't not do my role. Expect her to pick up the slack when I do my. No, I did, my part. And but it works. Yeah, people got to do what works for them, because that may not work for some couples. Some guys are married to women that say, no, I'm not paying nothing. You pay it all. There you go. You signed up for that. So you got to work that out. That's yours.
Yeah. And, I believe in equal opportunities. To that effect, bang, take that garbage out. I'm playing. I'm just joking. My wife, welcome in. If y'all see her come in here and slap me, you know why. So.
Or tell your wife, got you a new present. So
you try to get me shot, bro.
I remember you told the girls at LSW just talking about birthday present. You said I would get. You told you get them a brush, or not a brush, a mop. Oh man! All right, so y'all get you a new washing machine for your birthday. Some laundry detergent.
Try to get me shot.
Can't do it now.
Yo, check. Here goes some good comments right in here. So we saw this one. It says that let's see here. Let's add. This is a long one. I want to put it in. Let's add disability in the mix. If I promise in sickness and in health that it's my responsibility to live up to my end of the bargain, I should be able to take care of him while holding down a job. Yeah,
that is true.
Like it's like that's what it's all about. Pastor Allen,
Bronny Cat.
Yeah, that's a Bronya. She's been on with us every day since we started. So that's one of our super fans. Yeah, especially when in most places systematic. Huh?
Is she coming on one day too?
We should. Yeah, I think we should have you on, Bronya. I think so. Yeah. I think we should do like a special thing for the people who like really rock with us. Like, and we can already tell who these people are. You know,
I'm sorry I can't share it on my page for anybody watching because I don't have my computer to move around. So
yeah, no, that's all good.
Oh, Alan Robinson.
Yeah. I was just telling everybody, all the people, he is one of the nicest folks. Every time we ever came out to Northwest Indiana when we were doing anything, like he was just, how some pastors could be like just jerks. You know what I mean? Like for real, like they just kind of got this air about them that's just kind of like, I don't rock like that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he always just like nice, just I don't know how to describe it. Just some people just nice. It's nice to be nice, for real.
Yeah.
So especially when in most places, systematic racism structure intentionally pays Black women higher salaries, even with the same credentials. It's a household by household basis. Yeah. See, but here's the crazy thing. So like that's us from we were talking about Western versus Eastern, right? We were talking about that. So we in America, because of the way our systems are set up, we starting to accept that more? Because I asked that exact same question back in 2017, and the responses were wildly different from church folks, right? Now, I didn't get as many people responding on it this time, but last time I had like a lot of responses. It broke my Facebook page. Like, you know, a lot of responses, but it looks like we're starting to kind of adjust more to the fact that things happen, and maybe post-pandemic did that. But I had comments from Africa that was like, no, you would be like looked down on as a man in Africa if you weren't like financially contributing. Like, that's in Kenya, right? You would be like looked down on, specifically in Nakuru, Kenya. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I get it. That's their culture. So, you know.
Yeah.
Just like in certain countries, women can't reverse. So in some countries, women can't talk to say nothing out loud. They can't talk. You know, reminds me of what was the comedian said at D.L. Hughley said, no countries where they hang their women for talking back and saying stuff. And he's like, he know ain't none of them black because they look like Christmas tree ornaments hanging over. It's true. Like women hanging up all over the city. Because, but that's the difference in Western women and women from over there. Something else too, man, is but going back to what you said, I just feel like each household is different.
That's really what it boils down to.
And then what I do in my house, I don't explain myself to people no way, but I really don't care what nobody think about. Whatever happened in my house is what happens in my house. You know,
exactly.
That was how me and my ex-wife felt. Like, what we do is what we do. You don't like it. You don't live in here.
You don't live here. You don't gotta
care about nothing. And just like now, I was laid back yesterday. I thought I was laid on my apartment back on my couch. I got this long, what's it called? Sectional couch, and I'm laid back, my feet up, and I'm sitting there, and I was sitting there with my feet up on the couch, and I said, "Oh, let me take my feet down." I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's mine." Like, wait a minute, I can do that because and it's the thing, man. It's the freedom to, it's just a sense of freedom that you have when you don't care about people. I don't care what nobody. I've never cared what people think. My family would say that. A lot of people say, "Oh, you talk to people rude, or you just say what you want to say." That didn't happen. If you talk to my mother and them, if they watching my sister and them, my sister and them can tell you, they'll come to you and say, "You just stupid." And I shoulder shrug. It never bothered me. I've never gave a care what nobody thought about me.
See, I'm the exact opposite. That's why I got to have cats like you around, because I'm literally the exact opposite. Like, I'd be like, "Oh man, we got to make sure the people is good. We got to make sure our name don't have no like I seen you like in action, bro. Because remember that early concert, the booker.
Oh man,
the concert promoter who had no money to pay nobody. Eric got everybody. Well, I don't know if he got everybody paid that night. He got us paid that night, though. Praise the Lord.
We was only supposed to left. LXW was only supposed to got another $600. We left for $1,600. I took all that man's money. I got him. I got Ty's money. I got Todd Delaney. I got everybody's money.
Bro.
Matter of fact, I took dude in the room because he tried to leave, and we grabbed him, and I took him inside in the room, and I had two Negroes on the door, and I sat in the chair in front of him and sat him in the chair and said, "You ain't getting up this room till I get all that money." It was a whole, I don't know if you remember, it was a whole line of people.
It was a whole line. I remember that.
Had to get paid. I didn't care about none of them.
I do remember. Here's the thing about me, Karen. I did not know none of that was going on until it was like in the heart of the deep of it. Then I was like, "Why are we waiting around so long? What we doing here?"
I came and got on the, I think it was on the van. I had the envelope when I got on there.
Bro, I was like, "What are we doing here still? I'm ready to go." But like, I mean, when it was in the deep of it, you got dude like that was like, oh, that's what we here for. Well,
I
praise God for
with me. I forgot who all I had in the room. I had a bunch of dudes, and then I had Naomi. You remember Naomi?
Yeah.
Naomi went there with me. I had Naomi sitting to my right, and the guy was in front of me, his wife and kids.
Apostolic Naomi.
Yeah. And I don't know what Naomi got going on. She's enjoying Dallas now. And so Naomi was with me, man. It was just a thing of dude's wife was in there. I told her, "You can step out, you and the kids, y'all go in the hall. I don't want you." And I told dude, "We ain't going nowhere. My mom, go get your mom." His mom came with her credit card, and we can go to the cents by ATM. You're not leaving, bro. And then Ty, and I said us. he said, well, I owe y'all. I said, we need more for inconvenience. So that's why he had that money. I counted it. And then he said, we also got another 6. You got 16. Don't matter. That's out. That's out. Then we left, and then told everybody else, he in there, go get him. But the thing is, man, it's a thing of somebody got to be the bad. I don't mind being the bad guy. I don't mind being the bad guy. I didn't mind that when I was married. I didn't mind that with my daughter. I didn't mind that in my family, because somebody got to be that person that people may not like you.
Yeah. That's how you get stuff done, though. Somebody got to. It got to be somebody. It's like a yin and a yang, right? Like somebody got to be the one who cares about what everybody thinks. Somebody got to be the one who don't care what nobody thinks. Because then you find middle ground in there and you get stuff done. Like that was definitely dynamic. Shout out to April Mini. What's up, April Minifield? What's up, April? That's K3 in the house, y'all. Kankakee, K3 City. Y'all know I'm gonna always show love to anybody from Kankakee and Hopkins Park, because that's where I'm from. They didn't want me saying I was from the city when I was,
right.
Because you ain't from the city, right? I mean, you ain't from the city. You from Northwest Indiana, right?
I'm from Indiana.
Yeah. So like, you know how Chicago people get, they be, you can't say you from Chicago unless you was born in Chicago. I mean, I was born in Kansas.
And that thing about Indiana, if you watch the news, it says Northwest. It says you're in Indiana. It says Northwest Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
We're considered the Chicagoland area because
exactly. It's all the same thing at the end of the day to me. But I get it. So I ain't claiming nobody. I ain't claiming Chicago. All y'all Chicago people. I claim Kankakee / Hopkins Park. Yo, E. So check this out. Guess who just got on?
Who?
Guess who just logged on with us today?
Rich Holmes.
Nah, not yet. Rich don't come. You got to play daddy daycare until 9:00.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's on. He's what's that man? Arnold Schwarzenegger. He on daycare.
Like Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten Cop. No.
Yeah, Rich on Kindergarten Cop too. We got. So just so y'all know, we don't get paid for this. It's not like we got money for doing this. It's not like we still got to work jobs. Like I still, when I get done with this, I got to go to work. Eric's like going at a training right now, doing his thing. Rich got to take care, make sure the kid get to school, and he got stuff. We all have actual jobs. We just get on in the morning because we love y'all. So we get y'all's day started right, and it gets us up and going. But let me tell you who actually is here in the waiting room. We're going to bring him on in a minute when he's ready. We got the one and only Pastor Bill Ellis. He's going to come on. We love his tagline. Me and Rich was on tour back in 22, and every time he came on when we was on live, we always took his tagline. I'm Bill Ellis, and I love everybody. So I know he's gonna make sure to say that to us.
That's my dude.
Absolutely. So when he's ready, we're gonna get him on there. So make sure you go tell a neighbor, tell a friend. Let me turn some music on in the background. We ain't got no music. Yeah, we ain't got no music playing in the background. Let's get a nice little. There it is. Before we bring Pastor Bill on, we gotta have a nice music playing in the background.
That's Ellis, good dude, man. I remember one of the first times I met him before years ago, but one of the first times we got reacquainted was when John P. was there at his church, at the church. And I'm like, you need to let LXW be on there. And he was like, well, yeah, we can let them open. I said, yeah. And they gave, I think you had like 30 minutes. They had Pastor Key was going. They gave you you was able to do a whole.
It was a good time.
Full set.
Well, I'm about to bring him on with us real quick, so you can remind him of that story, so that so he can remember I've been around for a while. Right. Y'all do me a favor, go tag, share, like, follow, do all of that, and let everybody know that Pastor Bill Ellis is on with us right now on Zeke live in the morning. There you go. Try to put myself in the center. There it is. Pastor Bill Ellis, everybody. Give it up. Yeah. My pastor. What's up?
Too bad this line is already used for Zeke in the morning.
Hey.
Eric was telling that story, and he's absolutely right. He called out of the blue, and he said, you Pastor Bill Ellis? He said, I see you got John P. Key coming for a concert. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was just getting back to Chicago, just moving back, getting ready to start pastoring the church here. And he said, Dietrich's got a choir, LXW. I'm like, well, yeah, I know Dietrich. I know cool.
He's a cool.
and and so you ought to put his choir on to open up for the John Key concert. And since now that we all know each other, I got a little bit of a background, so to speak. Oh, come on, Ty Scott, put the artist on the big cool. I didn't have a program, so guess what? Y'all are the opening act.
Good.
Let's make it happen.
Ain't that
And
crazy?
that starts a whole. That was 8 years ago now.
Man, that's crazy too, right? And then the fact of it being, like, I have been dealing with the Ellis family because of working with Fred and with Commission, with the Ellises in Detroit, and then the pastor that was at the church. Your what was it? Your uncle, was it?
No, it's his father.
His father, yeah.
Bishop E is his father. So Bishop, because you know both Bishop Ellises. Bishop Ellis up in Detroit is Pastor Bill's uncle.
Right. The
Fred
one
came out of
dad. Because that was one of the first times I came to there, because I came with Fred back in the day. That was one of the first church. That was, I think, the first church Fred did with RFC.
Oh,
I told you that. I told you Fred told me that himself.
That was that. Then yeah, Eric been around that long. I wasn't even in the picture then.
That was the first time, and we brought like 30, 40 people. It was all white. And then I came back next time I came over there when the chemistry concert, Kim Burrell, Kim Stratton, Kim Rutherford, and somebody else. And I just love it.
Man, how old are you?
Man.
No, I'm just kidding.
And my guy Lamar Jones used to play over there at the church, and some other guys.
I just saw Lamar Monday at Copper's Field.
Man, we used to be in a community choir. Me, him, Daniel Weatherspoon. We was kids, man, trying to do something in this music business. And funny thing was, true story, and then Zeke, I'm gonna jump back on, is that Ty Scott, Zeke, was looking at signing us back in the day, right? So we talking back and forth, Brian Scott and all of them. And the guy of the group didn't really know what he was doing. And run his mouth and talked throughout the deal, and told a friend of his, I ain't gonna say no names, hey man, blah, 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 blah. We didn't get the deal, but the friend ended up with it. Which was Adrian King and Revers. They end up signing with Ty Scott.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
In our place, yeah. He wasn't on our stuff. Adrian was like, oh, I'm ready. And yeah, man. But no, the Ellis family is such a staple in Chicago. In ministry, period.
Yeah.
Man, listen, this is crazy. Eric, I just found this out yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you know, but one of my cousins in Detroit, his name is Keith Gardner. He was a drummer, audio engineer.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's my cousin.
Wow.
I found out yesterday on the,
because he played with Michael Brooks and them back in the day. I know he did Pastor Brooks' album and recording and stuff, right?
So that's me saying it. I'm years old, finding out on the commission page that he actually played on the Matty Moss record back in '80.
Yeah. See, hey,
so watch this, Eric. My cousin Bishop Charles used to play drums for Donald Bales.
Wow.
And that takes you back to being a kid. So yeah, that's crazy.
The thing is, because you were out of Detroit, weren't you?
No. So we went to San Antonio. So my family's from Chicago. Then my uncle went to Detroit. And then my father went to San Antonio.
Because I was laughing about that, because Fred was talking about the Ellis family, and we were talking about just just music in general. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of funny. Fred told the story. I think I'm gonna jump off and come back on. Fred told the story, man, about how his first gig was with Tremaine Hawkins, and he got fired. The MD fired him, right? And told Fred he wasn't on point. And the funny thing was, the MD was my cousin, Jeff LaValle.
Wow.
So Fred, like years later, I hired you to work for me, and the first person fired me was your cousin. And my cousin Jeff LaValle played on, like, if you listen, Richard Smallwood Live, Total Praise, and all that. He was the guy playing the keys on that. But Donald Lawrence and all of them, man, have honored him recently because Jeff was that guy back in the day. Zeke, you remember Keith Pringle and all of them?
Mm-hmm. We just sang Keith Pringle yesterday.
If you watch Keith Pringle, no great.
We just sang his music yesterday at the church. And the church went up. Can't stop praising.
Let me tell you about my cousin. If you go to that video and type in Keith Pringle, No Greater Love on YouTube, that's him directing the choir. He's real dramatic. He started on the piano. Get up, and he did all this stuff. Yeah, that's my cousin stuff, man. But Donald and Fred and all them, and when Fred told us story, he said, "Man, thought I was killing." And the guy was like, he said, Fred said, "I should have known something because, what's dude's name played the lead for the Hawkins? I can't think of his name.
DuBose.
Jonathan DuBose." He said, Fred said, "I saw him walk in with a bass, and I know he a lead player." I'm like, "Wait, what are you doing here?" So he said he sat down. And he said, "Because like, yeah, Fred, this man, it ain't working." And to this day, I brought that up to my cousin. I saw him recently at a funeral there. I said, "Man, you fired the man I work for." He said, "Who?" He said, "Fred." He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "I'll let Fred go." But it's nothing but love. I mean, Fred turned out to be who he is, and he always gives credit back to your family. The stuff that you guys did, the Ellis family, the great Ellis. You know,
yeah, man, it's a small world
Ellis
in the church
bro.
world. It's a small world in the church world.
Bishop, Bishop Al. Wait, you Bishop yet? Because I always call you that.
Speak it. Hey,
I've always called him that, and I always have to apologize. I always say Bishop Ellis. He's like, "I'm not a bishop yet."
No, and I've never said yet.
Right, Erica had you doing stuff that you never said you was gonna do.
Right. Next thing you know, he walked around with a collar on. Like, how does that?
Erica had you doing stuff you never said you was gonna do. Before I ever, we were reminiscing down LXW days. Before I ever said I was gonna do a LXW, I didn't even know that LXW was coming to Chicago. And Eric had already told Dietrich that he found the person, and the person said, "Yeah."
Oh yeah,
I'm the person.
This is what I told him.
He didn't even tell me LXW.
I didn't told him. I said, "Dietrich, I found the director, bro." He said he gonna do it. He good. He gonna be in there. And,
Eric kept asking me, and I kept saying, "Nah," because he kept calling it a youth choir. I said, "Nah, I ain't trying to do no." I just came off the KPBRL thing. I was like, "Nah, I ain't trying to do no youth choir. I ain't trying to."
No,
And
that's because Dietrich was calling it that, and it didn't make sense. And then when we finally told Zeke what it was, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's Dietrich."
Yeah, I do it. He was reaching out to my mama, my girlfriend. He was reaching out to everybody. And I was like, "Nah, I ain't doing it." I was on my way to Florida. He done already told Dietrich though that we doing it. So Eric, I had you saying stuff that you never said you were gonna do.
And Pastor Ellis, I meant to tell you this before I go because I'm training some people. Appreciate you for even giving that opportunity to LXW, to come to your church. And you've always been such a good pastor, man, and saying, "Hey, we can do this at the facility and blah, 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 blah." So, man, appreciate you too. Real talk.
Likewise, man. Likewise. You're welcome.
No problem. So I would see, what do you say?
I said anything I can do to help the kingdom.
I appreciate that. And I have to cash app him for that compliment. I'll send him something through cash app for that.
Yeah, there you go. Get that to roll with. There you go. Don't take your place, Pastor Bill. Get your seed in the ground. There you go.
I would check back in with y'all a little bit later.
All right, bro. Have a good training. Y'all say goodbye to Eric. He was in with us and out with us. So, he was in and out real quick today. Pastor Bill, what's up, bro? Welcome.
It's Zeke in the morning. I see how
I know, right? I don't know whose crazy idea this was. As you can see, I am like, I got home at like 5. Like I got to sleep by 5:45 because it was like 5 when I got home yesterday after church, Okay. And I woke up like 9:30. I ain't been back to sleep since.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I got some stuff done, but I mean, I'm just like, So I'm hyped up on coffee this morning.
Good. I'm about to have to join you there. I got this sun. I'm gonna have to move in a few minutes. The sun is shining.
Oh yeah, I
You know,
see it.
I know I've got the glow and the glory, but the sun is shining. And
It do got you looking heavenly. Like every time you move over, it just now you got to bless the people with the.
God bless you on this great morning. Greetings wherever you may be in the matchless, marvelous, and magnanimous name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ. Come on, somebody.
Hey!
let me
Pastor Allen Robinson said it's looking like Bishop Bruce Leroy with the glow on you. You got the glow. You got the.
We are Pastor Robinson is of a certain age. I can tell by that.
He is. Yep. I'm gonna put your business out there, Pastor.
Glow. You feel the glow. You let it show. So like that. The power of resurrection. Hey, JR, that was the song. Remember? Fact check me. Go watch it.
Now I gotta get my 80s and 90s references up, But I did know that reference. I did know the glow. I did know that one.
I'm gonna make my kids watch that. Y'all just made me think about that. I'm gonna make them.
We had one girl in our choir. We had a girl in New X who she had never seen it till maybe like just a few years ago now. We used to tease her so hard. Like, how have you never? Are you black? Are you even?
Right. Who is Bronia Cat? She said her late pastor, Willie J. Campbell.
That's my friend Abronia. So that's somebody that I grew up around. She's from the west side, out on the west side. So she grew up around my grandfather's church, like in and out my grandfather's church, and also with Reverend Campbell. So I know you had mentioned this just last week, the three Willies from the south side, right? Like it was your daddy, Willie Campbell, and then Willie Jordan. There's J.R. Jordan that y'all see down here.
Deacon Jr. is here today. Amen.
Yeah. So she came from that.
So good. Well, hello, sister. Praise the Lord. Sister Abronia. God bless you.
We can be cool over here. We go.
I know. But since it's the morning show, it's my first time.
I know, because you're usually on Tuesday nights. You got your weekly Tuesday. We call it TNT Live. Tell the people a little bit about what you do on TNT, because they need to subscribe to APC Morgan Park, and they can subscribe there and catch it. Yeah.
Y'all should do that. Come to APC Morgan Park on YouTube. If you're on, I just moved away from mine.
Got away from your glow.
Yeah, I left my iPad over. But yeah, so whoever's on Facebook, right? Follow me on Facebook, and you can follow the church page at APC Morgan Park on YouTube. That would be great, and that would be good. And then Tuesday is our midweek. Before the pandemic, it used to be called Bible class. Now we call it TNT, and it's online. So that's on Tuesday, 7:30. We talk about the Bible. We extract biblical principles and spiritual truths to help us be productive citizens in the kingdom and in society. So that's Tuesday. And then Sunday at 9 a.m. Bible application, which is on Zoom. It used to be called Sunday School, Sister Abronia, when we were kids growing up in church. But now
she said to tell you.
I'm sorry.
She said to you, take that doggone L.
Sure, Bronia.
I'm gonna start. Now I'm gonna start calling her. What's up, Albronia? I guess that sounds like something from the country right there, boy. That's
Ah, ah,
Right.
gotcha. Ah, bro. Listen, I got it. I'm leaving phonics. It's important. Phonics are important. So yeah, and then 12:30. We meet it on Sunday for church at 12:30. And y'all can come. Zeke will lead us in worship. Uh, I'll share the word, and then you'll be challenged and charged to go and be productive citizens in the kingdom and in society.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we had a good service yesterday, you know. We had Reverend Sierra Bates Chamberlain, because at APC you've been always very intentional about this. That's from the years that I've been there now, the couple of years I've been. Always seen you be very intentional about uplifting Black women in the church space and religious spaces, and making sure they understand that they're not just bench warmers, as my daddy will call them. But
come on, no, that's right.
but they've been very influential, strong, and powerful even just in the church in general, the church at large, and especially the Black church. And so, Women's History Month, the month of March, we celebrate Black women in church. And so we had a good service yesterday around that. And we had the Reverend Sierra Bates Chamberlain, and she is so Sierra's the president of Live Free Illinois, right?
She is the executive director.
Executive director. Oh Lord! And then you're the board president.
Illinois. That is.
There you go. I got to make sure I got the titles right. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. She is the boots on the ground, making the entire organization happen. She's giving it direction. So she gives us direction. I'm just there to provide spiritual support and emotional support and oversight for compliance to make sure we do what we're supposed to do. But and she's great. She's great. She spoke a great message yesterday about the yoke breakers.
Right, yoke breakers. Yeah, and that yoke breakers thing, you in Pentecostal circles, yoke breakers, is just, a spiritual thing, right? It's just, he gonna break a yoke, you just gonna, but she gave a real good charge, just like a black woman, to give us something to do. Do a whole bunch of talk.
Call them in. And what was the last one? Does it call them up? I'm just making that up. I don't. Yeah, just call them out, call them in.
Oh, snap. Oh, no, I ain't had enough sleep. But yes, something call them forth, I think, right?
Okay.
Something about going forth. I got to go back and watch the cast about it. But yeah, it's essentially, like, it ain't just meant for us to just sit in church and just shouting and do all that. But it's meant for us to get out, get active, and bring justice into the world. And,
there you go.
Black woman leading the charge.
Yeah. She's killing the game, too. She's killing the game. So, yeah. Shout out to Live Free Illinois. And then, since we were talking about church, and then I went to shout out to the homie, the brother in the faith and gospel and in the work, pastor, the newly installed pastor again of New Covenant Baptist Church, the Cove.
Yeah.
Pastor Stephen Thurston Jr. Yeah, that was a great service yesterday. Pastor Dr. Charlie Dates, man, he preached an amazing message. Oh, wow. the way he illustrated the text was masterful. So yeah, it was great. It was great.
Nice.
So yeah, that was what I did. I went to church yesterday.
So you was just churching all day. I love it.
No church nap for me.
Yeah, well, I took my church nap last night, and I'm regretting it now, because I think I woke up at 9:30 and that was it.
I heard you saying that. Look, I see this. Brawny Cat says, remind her to tell me about.
Let's see. Let's put it up on the screen. To remind me to tell you about the time Bishop Ellis put me on Front Street while burying my god brother.
Oh, the old preachers. That's all I can say. I'm not surprised. The old preachers. And then she also said, so we need to meet her work sister, her co-worker sister, Dr. Keisha Roberts Tabb. I wondered if she knows Dr. Reverend Marcus Tabb. He's one of our board members there with Live Free, Reverend Marcus Happ. He pastors over in South Shore United Methodist.
Yeah. Okay, I know. That's the one on. Is that the one on South Shore Drive?
I think so. Yes, if I'm not mistaken.
Like somewhere around like I'm just call it 79th to South Shore, but I know it's further north than that. But somewhere in that area, 70 South Shore. Yeah.
Pastor
Tab. Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha.
That'll be great. Yeah, we are doing this work over here at Live Free and all the CHRCs.
Oh yeah. Well, the last week in March, I'm gonna kind of dedicate that week to the work that we do in CHRC. So I've kind of started asking some folks. I asked Reverend Sierra last night, yesterday, will she be on one? And she said yeah, so she'll be on one day. We've been talking about it, and of course, I'm gonna have you back on if you'll be back on if you'll have me. I know it's 11:00 in the morning, but
I'll drop in. Listen. I want to get in on the ground floor. So when this is the zillion viewers.
Yes.
You won't be like, oh, here's the pastor go trying to get on now because I done got some numbers.
You said you can get it. Right.
Right.
And then I talked to JR, we're gonna have him on one day. So Mama G is gonna get on, Pastor Glover. So we're gonna have some different folks that's on that just kind of talk about that work around the trauma and healing and all that kind of stuff like that, But that was one of the things, I will say this much, that was one of the things I did appreciate about APC when I came on was actually the whole concept of wholly healthy. You know what I mean? The concept that you should be focusing on, on the whole self, right? So wholly healthy, for those of y'all who don't know, it's WHOLLY, play on the word holy, meaning whole. And so, Pastor Bill, tell me a little bit about what that is, because I sit here and run my mouth the whole time.
No, well, yeah, you were doing a great job. That's what it is. It is holy, right? So the Spirit illuminated to me that First John in John's writing when he says, beloved, my desire is for you to be prosperous and to be healthy. Paraphrasing, in every area of your life. And he says, even as your soul prospers. So your soul prosperity is your consciousness, your mind, will, your emotions, your psyche, your thinking, and who is it? The philosopher says, "I think, therefore I am." So that began to say to me, this is a way for us to introduce magnifying the need for mental health awareness in particularly our church, the Black Church, Black Pentecostal Church, all of that. So this is how we can do it, because it's right there in the scripture, even as your soul prospers. So, also that is accomplished for me with the pursuit of prosperity and what it means, to be prosperous. But it's not just about money, but it's being prosperous, being in every area of your life, being successful, flourishing, your mental well-being, your physical well-being, and your spiritual, your emotional well-being. So I was like, okay, holy. All right. What does it mean to be whole?
Oh, Pastor Bill got kicked off real quick. We're going to bring him back. We're going to get him back on here. I don't know what happened. We're going to get him back, though. Yo, but we just started the conversation off. Oh, we just found him. Here he goes. He's back. Let me get him back on the stage. There he is.
Yeah. All right. I don't know what that was. But yeah, to be whole and to be holy. To be whole and to be holy. So that's how we started this ministry. And we were blessed, I have resident therapists in the church who understand, the need for that as well. Having a medical doctor at that time, of course, Dr. Butler still lived in Chicago, but he still is with us virtually. And so that's, how it got jumped off. And that's really significant to the ministry. It's an important part of the church and the ministry. Is just something that hadn't existed. So if I can say, anything, is something one of the first and most significant impactful things I was able to introduce to the church. So
yeah, and I like that because and we talked about this. I come from a background with my mama being a psychologist and my dad being in political spaces and all that kind of stuff, where I come from a household that looked at the wholeness of what's needed in the self and in the community, right? And we were from a space that did not quite do that. It was just church on Sunday. That's what church was. Church was about getting together on Sunday and praise the Lord, and then we go home and go back to the same mess and the same issues that we left from Monday to Saturday. But as long as Sunday we dressed up, looked good, had a good time, then everything was all right. And so we came from a household that was not that way. It was saying, no, you need to address your mental health. You need to address your physical health. Like, don't make sense that that our church has so many people, where I'm from, so many people who are sick and can't get well. If you're sick and you can't get well, can't get well. And that's half the church. And it's just like, no, maybe you can get well. Maybe it's just, maybe somebody need to teach you that eating pork chops every night ain't the best. Ain't the best choice in life.
Somebody give you a healthy alternative.
Yeah, and so we paid attention to those kinds of things, and so it was just a real cool thing to to come to APC and see that okay, somebody else is it's another church that's like that. They got the political justice advocacy side, advocacy side. They've got the activism wing, with you being the board president for Live Free, got to see that work in action and see what that is. And then it's a good church time too. So, got all the box. You have good church too, right? So, so that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool with it. So what's been on Pastor Bill's mind? Like I know, for the people who don't come to church on Sundays, some people need a word, What's a random word you got for the people? I don't know. Just a random word you got for the people. I know that's on the spot in a mug.
I know. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because you it's like the when you watch it like the TVN, it's like what's the Lord saying to the people right now?
It's like a default question to ask a preacher. You just be like, so just preach me a quick sermon without no preparation. I didn't prepare you for it.
What now? Okay, so then when you say that, and it'll take me back to I can't remember the exact reference or theme, but Pastor Dates yesterday, what he talked about was the scripture, Luke chapter something with Jesus is talking about the community. He says, take this and drink, for this is the New Testament, right? In my blood. And his premise or his theme, was what makes a new covenant, which was, of course, a play on the name of the church.
The name of the church.
Yeah. So considering that, right, that there was a period of time, according to the Bible, that things weren't sweet. In the other covenant, as they say now, or the older, they don't like to say old because there's that now. But in the older covenant, in the first covenant, right?
Yeah.
It was. I mean, if you really think about it, if you get into biblical criticisms and challenge the text, it's like, wait, that really was kind of jacked up in Jesus' era.
Yeah.
The pre-blood era, the pre-sacrifice era. I was like, well, wow, that really, like, the world was anyway. Yeah, I was sitting there thinking about that while he was talking about the text. I was like, wow. So the old go, it was a need for a new covenant. And this new covenant, and then even now, how are we interpreting and articulating this new covenant? So we have this freedom in Christ, but are we then have to be responsible with that freedom, but then have we been restricted in that freedom? Have we been limited in that freedom from experiencing, from exploring, and expanding in life experiences and even knowledge bases in education? being allowed to, progress in church and ministry, going from an era, the older covenant, where they would tell you you don't need to go to the cemetery or the seminary because you're gonna lose your burning and all that kind of
Uh-huh.
stuff,
Yep. Yep.
you know. But now, now it's looking at the reality of, as they said in our session on Saturday, you're allowing someone, I'm paraphrasing, but you're allowing someone to do surgery on your soul,
Mm-hmm.
and they've gone through no
Mm.
qualifications.
Mm.
Would you go to a doctor and allow a doctor with no qualifications to do surgery on your body? But every week,
Mm.
you go sit in a building, proverbially,
Yeah.
and allow someone to do surgery on your soul. And, you know, their highest accreditation is they made it through primary Sunday school class to
Mm.
intermediate Sunday school class to adult Sunday school. And now you can teach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you asked me that, that's what I was like, wow. So that there really was a need for another covenant, a new covenant, and then how are we now explaining it so that people can live it to its fullest, can maximize and really enjoy this great salvation that
Yeah.
has been given to us by our soulful Savior. I like talking on your show.
Yeah, see? Nice, right? You can just sit back and talk. You ain't got to run all the buttons and you ain't got I get it.
I
You
just
be
had,
pushing buttons. I get it. There's a lot of work going to this.
yeah, this ain't
Especially first thing in
Hercules
the
feat.
morning. It's like, my God, what did I get myself into?
Mhm,
No, that's so
mhm.
good though. Like what you just brought up there though. Like that's so good. Cause
I'm gonna have to start using that. If y'all start hearing that, Bill Ellis said it, soulful Savior, since they have a
soulful.
problem with Black Jesus.
Soulful Savior. I like that.
Yeah,
Soulful Savior.
yeah.
Soulful Savior.
Since the preacher wanted to come out and castigate liberation preachers, you got a black preacher castigating
So I got a
black
clip.
preachers.
I got a clip of that today. I got a clip. Well, not of that one, because I know that was the one that was down in Baton Rouge, right? That was
Oh, I don't know. It's out.
oh well, Jimmy Swagger. That's what I was trying to think of. His son.
Oh, okay.
His son like had a whole thing where he castigated black preachers. Said something, and black preachers was like,
Oh, was
"Who
that
you think you are?"
during the Kamala thing?
Yeah, well, I think it was somewhere in there,
Yeah,
right?
I did see that.
And then you got the one that Jamal Harrison Bryant just addressed because they said he was racist basically for his rhetoric, and it's a
Oh,
whole
yeah, because it's pro-black rhetoric.
yeah.
Because they had his picture, and you
Yeah.
spooks at the door. You spooks at the door. That's what it is. Spooks at the door.
So I got a clip. I got a clip of Jamal Bryant on the Breakfast Club, and I'm gonna share it in a little bit because we got Rich Holmes in the building. AP Rich, he's I don't know if I just got to keep calling him AP Rich, if I got to call him B Rich, or if I got to call him Pastor Rich, Pastor Holmes. I don't know what I got to call him no more. He's here, so we're gonna bring him to the stage because I want to hit this Jamal Harrison Bryant thing because he's the one that actually brought it to the table over the weekend. So without further ado, all the people in the place, all the people who's on the live, I got Pastor Bill Ellis with me, and we are also bringing to the stage with us the one and only Pastor AP Rich.
This Rich, man. This is AP Rich, man. What's going on? What's happening? How's everybody doing on this lovely Monday morning? Come on.
Now, Rich.
Hey, Pastor Bill Ellis. He loves everybody.
Everybody.
Hey, what's happening, sir? Salute to you today.
Man, God bless you on this fine day. Glad you could make it to the virtual Church of Zeke Locke.
Yeah. Y'all having church this morning. I said, my God.
You never know what you get on this show. There it goes, right?
I love it, man. That's why I love coming over here. So.
I've actually been enjoying this. I mean, waking up at 10:00 in the morning ain't fun, but this is fun. I like this. I like this medium. I like this platform.
That's what's up.
I'm like Rich. I'm usually up. I, take the kids to school, drop them off, and then, I'm not once I'm up, I'm kind of up. So going with the day. Yeah.
Well, I don't have those kid worries yet, so God bless y'all and both of y'all's ministries.
I like you put the word "yet" on there. That's
one of these days.
Give me nothing. I'm fine.
One day I gotta make sure stuff's still working. I gotta before it's too late.
I'm sure you're practicing, Doc.
Well, let the marriage bed be undefiled.
It ain't for the faint of heart. Start with a puppy.
Words of wisdom. Yes, sir, Doc.
So what's up, Rich Holmes? AP Rich? How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm feeling real good. It's going to be a beautiful week. It's going to be nice outside.
I know,
right? Gotta walk this knee off a little bit more this week. Take a walk around the park. So I like doing stuff like that. So it's all good. I'm excited about the weather breaking. Glory to God.
Yeah. And we got daylight savings. So the good thing about daylight savings, it stays lighter longer. So
that's true.
So that means you can walk even an hour longer.
Come on.
I seen a meme yesterday that said that hour of sleep that we lost was the hour I was supposed to use to get my life together.
I saw that too.
Cracking up.
Another excuse, my goodness.
Yeah.
This life though, I get it.
Man, so Rich, I found that clip. So Pastor Jamal Harrison Bryant, right? He was on the Breakfast Club, and as we know, he's been having some stuff that's been going on. You brought it up over the weekend. We should talk about that clip. We should talk about his interview. I didn't watch the whole interview.
I didn't either. So
I got a clip. Okay. I got one clip that actually hits a couple of things. I just, I thought it might be good to just hear the tape because I was gonna have two pastors on today. I felt like I should just get a tape.
I'm just an assistant.
Well, you pastor the people in a way. You may not be the senior pastor, the assistant pastor. Pastor is in your title. That's all I'm saying. Like you're not.
Come on.
AP stand for what? Assistant pastor.
Yeah,
it don't stand for assistant podiatrist. It don't stand for assistant pediatrician.
Yeah.
It don't stand for assistant pissant. It stands for assistant pastor.
I'm getting used to it. You know what I'm saying? Got to put it on. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's go.
But I'm gonna throw this clip on. I'm just wondering what our take might be. Let me see if I can. Y'all, as y'all can see, I'm learning how to work StreamYard. You see the backgrounds, Doc? The background.
I see the borders on there. I said, he learned. Cool. I like the background. You got the tape, man. Look at you. You somebody.
Yeah. I'll be trying, bro. I'll be trying.
He's an evident genius.
Oh my goodness, man.
I didn't say it. I'm just
right. Yeah.
So check out this clip. Let's see. We got
Water
this.
said you was racist.
Yes.
Because you criticized black people who went to the White House for the Black History Month program.
Right.
What do you say to that?
That he clearly doesn't know what racism is because I wasn't talking about white people. I was talking about black people who having an identity crisis, who were in there cheering for Black History Month under an administration that wants to make it illegal. No federal agency could honor Black History Month, so for them to have a program was absolutely crazy. And all the more, they raised up my picture, Charlemagne, after announcing who was the new FBI director. So for your own people to do that to you, I was calling them out. I don't know why he would call that racism as much as it was exposure. Black people don't have the capacity to be racist.
I wonder why they did hold your picture up in the White House.
3 of them. Charlemagne, you've been to the White House.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you've been to the White House.
No, I haven't.
Never in your life.
Never
He said he's not going there. He don't
Never, under nobody.
No.
Oh, wow.
I been to the Vice President's house.
Huh?
I been to the Vice President's house.
Yeah, well, let's take the Vice President's house.
Okay.
You're not going in the Vice President's house with a picture or a sign.
No.
Holding up no stick. You barely can get a backpack in there. So for them to have 3 pictures of me in the East Wing is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Jasmine Crockett is up there. Hakeem Jeffries is up there. Claiborne is up there. Why put my picture up? So I think it was a targeted attack. And so for them to assume I wasn't going to say anything was outlandish.
You did call him the spooks who sat by the door, though.
Yes.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
To be a spook who sat by the door.
Yeah. In the context of the book. What's funny is, Charlamagne, none of them Negroes read it. So they didn't even know what I was talking about. Until I also called him as a runaway slave.
Yeah, that was
which
the
is
one
a
that
good
got him.
thing.
That's right, that's right.
And
that's
they
right.
didn't even understand the context of it because they're lost in their own misery of delusion.
To your point, that's why I never wanted to go to the White House.
Okay, so real quick. All right. I gotta go there real quick. Right. So just right off the bat, like, so Jamal Bryant has, I guess, been like, they got his picture up at the White House and all that stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, I have not followed it completely yet, but I saw when he first posted something about about we not scared, and it was the whole thing, he had the church going up and all that kind of stuff like that. Because it's starting to give, for a lot of folks, it's starting to give the vibes of 1960s America when the FBI was basically after black preachers. Name and point people like Martin Luther King and, black leaders, who were religious leaders at the end of the day, right? Martin Luther King was a religious leader, right? And he's probably the most famous one, of course. But, y'all, do you think that we're seeing the same thing today? Are we starting to see the same thing today, do you think? Oh, my bad. Hold on. There you go. I had you muted. My bad, bro.
Oh, it's all good. Man, from this vantage point, from his perspective, it would appear that's what is leaning towards. One thing I can say about Jamal Bryant, though, is I believe his voice has tried to been silent for the last 20 plus years. And I think he has a voice and he doesn't mind disrupting things and shaking the foundation, if you will. But I think with what you're saying, it looks like it's leaning that way, man. And he's a person that don't seem he ain't having it. And he won't let it be known. He gonna go to the mountaintop, to the rooftop, and scream to the top of his lungs, "Hey, pay attention!" and really use his voice to get his points across on what he's doing. And like, I'm not with it. So I think that's every man's choice and every man's right to stand on business. And I believe he's doing that right now. And he ain't letting that come towards him.
Yeah, I give you that. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I got with it. Pastor Bill, what you got to say, man? That's a lot to unpack.
History doesn't change. It repeats itself, and the new characters improvise the script.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at.
So it's the same thing, just different characters.
Yeah. We're looking at, as they say, post-reconstruction. We're reconstructing. We're dealing with that with the government. So now it's forcing us, Black folk and faith leaders. I just had to write a paper that I had to turn in. I turned it in late yesterday. But I turned it in.
But you got it in.
That's important.
Should the Black pastor, be speaking to, the current administration? And I mean, that's what you see here. That's exactly what Jamal Bryant is doing. He's speaking to the administration, saying, we aren't going to stand. We ain't going to stand for it. Come on, Steve. Right? We ain't going to stand for it. And he's trying to organize, because if you look at now, we go through this. So in what we do here, right? Let's look at Chicago. Who's the voice for the Black community? We used to have voices.
Yeah.
And then those voices kind of were narrowed down to certain voices that became quote unquote Black messiahs. And we had to go through that process, so then they were murdered, they were assassinated, and then now essentially, if we're stretching for the sake of the conversation, here it is. Now you have Jamal Bryant, who's become a voice. And so now he's being put on a pedestal and targeted. And so, his character has already been challenged, and he tries to, because Jamal is, I mean, that's Brian has always been since a young guy. He's with the NAACP,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, so he's always been in the activist space,
This
and
is true. Yeah.
absolutely.
so that's where unfortunately it is where we do find ourselves now. And like I said, the fight is. I won't say the fight is the same, but the fight is very similar. I mean, it's like hooping, Rich. I was watching some highlights of it was an '86 Lakers Celtics playoff game.
Okay.
Man, it was so nostalgic, But the game is not played like that anymore. But the game is still played. So
Gotcha.
that's where we are. The game is still being played. Now it's new players, and instead of mid-range and post-up sky hooks,
Right.
step back threes, and
Right.
shoot the logo.
Yeah.
Euro steps.
Same game, same people controlling the game, same people in the game.
Same people still own it, and
I got you. It's still a world.
Yeah. So we're still fighting for what we're fighting for: funding, equality, opportunity.
I wonder now, when you got voices like Jamal Bryant, and he says something to this extent, he kind of hits Charlemagne up at the end of the interview, and maybe we'll get to that part of the clip, if we got time. But he says to that effect, people with a voice. He mentioned to Charlemagne. He said, "You got more listeners than a lot of our quote unquote leaders have." I got to do my air quotes in the camera. Then a lot of our leaders have. Like he said, if you will go downstairs, and it's at the end of this particular clip. He says, if you were to go downstairs and ask a bunch of folks, who was the leader of this organization or who was the leader of this organization, people wouldn't know. And yet those same people know you, Charlemagne. And so Charlemagne, of course, was saying that's why I don't go to the White House, because I feel like if there's nothing to talk about, if there's nothing to then there's no reason to go. And so, Dr. Bryant was, of course, telling him, no, you've got a voice. You now have a responsibility to do that. So it makes me, as with y'all both being pastors and as Rich was saying, assistant pastor, as y'all being very, very wise gentlemen, who have the responsibility to speak to God's people. I don't know. I'm just wondering, like, from y'all's perspective, where do y'all see that? Is that like a special grace that's given to somebody from your view to be able to speak truth to power in that kind of a way? I mean, because at the end of the day, it's a lot of preachers talking about Donald Trump, but he's only hearing a few. I mean, right? Because everybody don't even have the kind of platform that even gets to where he's going to hear it. But at the same time, we still got to speak to the people and all that. I mean, where do you integrate that in your own, where you come from as a reverend?
I would say this, because I just speak from, I would say everybody, I believe, is given an assignment. And I believe they're given grace to handle and carry that assignment. All the things that come with it, all the trials that come with that assignment, all the tribulations and testings, all the scandals, everything else that will come with it. I think that you've given an assignment, and I think it's a grace to handle that assignment. But I don't think everybody is assigned to do something what Jamal is doing. I don't think just because you are a pastor, just because you are a leader of some sort, or you even have a voice, that you're called to do things and take on assignments like what a Jamal Bryant does and consistently does, and I believe has been very successful at doing, to even get his name in the White House. So we know he's kicking up some type of dirt, or he's making up some type of noise. He's shaking some foundations. So I don't think everybody is graced to do that assignment. So that's why for me, or just kind of where I'm at, when I see people that's doing great things or in an assignment, and I may not be that great in it, I can learn and educate myself, of course. But if I know you're anointed for church folk, or you are just really good at your assignment and I'm finding success in it, I may be a person that want to donate or connect to help you fulfill your assignment. So, that's kind of how I would see that.
So like a same team mentality, kind of more.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm not a
like. Don't expect the big man to shoot from the 3-point line.
Right.
And don't expect the guard to necessarily take it to the hole.
Yeah, just play your role, stay in your lane, man.
Yeah,
I think it's enough for all of us to do everything that God called us to do, because there's so much we got to do in this kingdom, but everybody can't do it all. So if I can connect with people, that's why connection, the power of connection is so important. That's why I'm glad I'm connected with you guys. Y'all do a lot of gun violence and different things like that. That may not be my assignment, right? But I know people that's doing it, so I'm gonna try to come and support. Hey, y'all have this coming up on site. Here I am. But you guys may have the voice to kind of make that happen, to get attention, and I may just be the support to help that keep coming to pass. And I think it's okay to do that, because sometimes people are doing assignments and they just don't need to be doing that assignment. Like I brought up a point, and I said, who tried to walk on water? That was Peter. I said Peter was out of assignment. That's why I believe he failed, because the assignment for Peter, Jesus told him, get in the boat. He said, I constrain you, get in the boat, stay in the boat, don't leave the boat to get to the other side. No matter if the storm is coming, don't wait, just stay in this boat. But Peter saw him, Jesus, who was in his assignment, which was walking on the water. And now he decided, I can do this assignment too. And so he began to fail. So that's just a point I saw with that. And it's just like, if it's not your assignment, if you can support people, support them, but don't go in there and fail at it. Then now you make everybody look bad because it wasn't your assignment. You know what I mean?
So that church mother who's still trying to sing the lead to I love the Lord. Rich is telling you your assignment is your assignment.
Listen, just be a good usher.
Please stop. I get beat up.
Have a good time. This just may not be your assignment, and it's okay. There's so much more you can do. It might be a passion. You can come to rehearsal. Come on. But when it's time to go to work and we got to do what we got to do, I think you better on the side. Just pray for the sisters, the little girls. Help us out around here.
I'm gonna let Pastor Bill say something. But I remember one time my grandfather, who was speaking of old preachers, when they start getting older, they just start saying whatever that come to mind. They just gonna tell you the truth. My grandfather, one time I was visiting his church. I don't know what side, Greater Mount Sinai. Shout out to all of my Greater Mount Sinai family. But the choir got done singing. He turned around and said, y'all need to get some youth up in here. Y'all starting the voices cracking. Y'all not hitting notes to sing. And y'all mad at the youth choir.
Yeah.
He said this in service and we was looking like, Papa. Oh. So I do not hate, because one day that might be me. So I'm
let me find my sign. What am I good at?
Yeah. I'm gonna get Pastor Bill some flow time real quick though, because I start talking about my grandkids.
I'm gonna tap into what Rich just said though. But yeah, you do have people that are built to handle certain tasks and built to do certain tasks. So yeah, I think the Bible says something about abiding in your calling or something like that. That's for Rich. Yeah, something like that.
Something there.
So yeah, find what you're anointed to do and do that. Like I found myself being called to this justice work, and then in the work, learning and recognizing what my role is, could, and will be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of been my experience. This was not my intention when I came to be the pastor. So, but in being the pastor, it's funny. I went to a meeting one night and my heart wasn't.
Something got a hold of you.
Something got a hold of me. Got a hold of me. And it won't let go.
Yes, sir.
I went to a meet with Pastor Mike McBride, Reverend Sierra, and Kenny Gross, who runs the Institute for Nonviolence on the West Side. He's one of our board members.
Yeah.
And sat down with them, and it was, I'll just say it like this. I was just getting to Chicago. So this speaks even to this whole meeting, coming to Live Free and Zeke and all of that, because I was able to bring Live Free to that concert. Pastor McBride that's how I was able to do it. Pastor McBride gave us a donation. He was like, "What you need to, make some noise." I was like, "Man, well, listen, we need some money. We're gonna bring John Key for a concert." And that's again why y'all had the time frame y'all had. It's like, okay, well, we got Live Free, we got Zeke Locke, a New Experience, and we got John Key. That's the whole show. It's like 30 minutes headline. And from that meeting, I went to that meeting with two elders from this new church that I'm getting ready to pastor. I'm getting ready to take over, become the pastor of the church. So I had some meeting with some of the elders. This is what I just heard about. There's people doing outreach. I don't know nothing about this. I'm new to the city, basically. So can I get some of y'all to go? Two of the elders volunteered to go to the meeting with me. Well, I'm the only one still doing the Live Free work. So they called me, didn't call them. So I'm doing my role. I'm playing my role, rather. I'm playing my part. So yeah, that's I was just complete by saying, yeah, shut your mouth and know your role.
Yeah. Uh-oh, you muted, Doc. You muted, Zeke. We can't hear you.
Oh, sound man.
Oh, there you go. My bad. I pressed the button on my microphone. Yeah. I said, I was laughing at the shut your mouth and know your role part. I said, if I say that to my wife, I'm going to just say, I got proof here on Facebook now. I can go back to YouTube. And say,
I don't think you want that fight, Doc.
Don't put that evil on me.
You too early. You too early in it. You too early in it.
Too early for that one? Okay, I got it. How many years do I get before I can make those statements?
That's a Pastor Bill question.
You gotta be your grandpa, eh?
There you go.
Into the choir.
Oh man.
Your grandpa age.
Well, speaking of grandfathers and all that stuff, though, I thought it was an interesting interview. Though I didn't watch the whole interview with Jamal Bryant. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did want to bring that up because Rich, you had, first off, like I said, just to be on the Breakfast Club, I mean, you don't see a whole lot of religious folks on the Breakfast Club. Yeah. You don't see a whole lot of folks the religious status. So that means you got to have some kind of name about yourself, obviously, and he's been in it. So I thought it was interesting to bring that up.
I think I know. I was looking at the Target one he had talked about.
I didn't see that. Send that one to me. They were
this. So I was like, oh, okay.
This one caught my attention, Joe, though, because of everything that's going on right now. And, we've got obviously some division within people's families, within churches. I mean, you got families that ain't talking to each other right now because one voted for Trump and one voted for
you voted for.
Wow.
I mean, you let me know where you stand. You let me know how you really feel.
Which also makes my brain go, right? Because here's the side of it. On one part of me, and y'all, me. So we on Zeke Live in the morning. We can shout out to everybody. Make sure you subscribe, follow, share. I gotta remember to say those things because I'll be forgetting. That's the whole point of doing this. So I gotta say, subscribe, follow, share, do all of that. Check us out on YouTube. But my brain always goes to this thing, right? Where it's like, it's a democracy. You should be able to vote for who you want to, Like, we shouldn't break families apart. But then that's one side. Then the other side of me goes, all right, but if I had somebody who I know voted for a Nazi, for instance, would I have the same kind of grace? Or if somebody voted, to put me in slavery, would I be, same gracefulness,
How would you feel if you were standing next to somebody that voted for Barabbas?
yeah. Like in hindsight, what would you?
Wow.
Yeah, where you know what I mean. So it's like this. One side says, you got your own rights, and the other side says, you should not have your own right to vote for. You know what I mean? It's hard to decipher that, And so a lot of people, obviously, in churches and workspaces and all this, they all are clearly dealing with, with the fallout of whatever side of the aisle they may fall on compared to who somebody else that they may be close to has fallen on, and I'm watching it tear through families, tear through friendships, all kind of stuff like that. I mean, what do you say to folks in that sense, Maybe y'all had to deal with that, you know.
No, I haven't, man. I haven't. We really don't touch political in the church for us on our side, so it ain't been nothing. Of course, we educate and tell ourselves to educate yourself, but we don't push one way or the other. So, I haven't had that experience. That's probably Pastor Bill probably has more than experience in that than I do. You know what I mean?
You mean to tell me? Oh, so y'all not a part of a denomination? Y'all are an
Nah, we
independent
not
church?
denominational. Yes.
Oh, so y'all vote Green Party. I got you.
we just go with God. Just whatever the Lord leads you to do, you do it. Whatever He tell you to do, you do it. Not just look at commercials. You gotta go. You gotta do that too. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
same
that's
thing.
just been our stance.
Be informed, and make your own decision.
Correct.
But we are a part of Pentecostal Assemblies of the World. They didn't necessarily overtly support one candidate over another, but historically, it is a by and large as traditional Black organizations. A lot of them are Democratic leaning or influence. But that's also another thing. All of our churches are autonomous. So there is independence within the fellowship. So I will say that at the end of the day, regardless of who you voted for, the query now is, how are you going to respond? I just decided to, and like always, I mean, I guess we should, but not to feed into the fear mongering, the assault on Blackness, if you will, because I mean that just hasn't changed, and it's not getting any worse than it's already been. It's just always been what it's been.
Correct.
And then we as people have always done what we've done. We fought, we've survived, we've thrived, we've advanced, we've shown our resilience. So let's continue to do that, until we can all get along and decide to align ourselves for our self-interest and create our own party and people, and are able to govern in that regard. Then we're gonna have to do, it's March Madness, right? We're gonna have to survive and advance.
That's right.
As individuals, and then become collectives, and those collective individuals that are thriving can help the other groups to be able to organize, as we're doing, to now go down to the city of Chicago and say, hey, we need an Office of Gun Violence Prevention.
Yeah.
And the city says, well, we have an Office of Public Safety. It ain't the same. We've organized faith communities. We got 13 sites. We've got, here are our community partners, our faith coalition. This is what this city needs. So I'm learning the significance in that and what that really means. So if all of our people come together and say, this is the candidate we need, then we can really, really, really push forward and stop calling ourselves a minority, which we're not. And as time progresses, which the demographics are showing, the country is becoming less white dominant. And, it's going to become more multicultural across the board. So, we got to figure out what we need, who we're going to follow, and how we're going to get it. I'm complete.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I feel that. That's and it's, I'm wondering though, because as we live obviously in 2025, it hit me, we are a quarter way into the new millennium. Like we are a quarter, like first 25% of the new millennium is gone. Like this is the second quarter of a millennium that we're entering in, right? And back in the day, obviously, we think of the '60s and all that stuff like that. I mean, that was the third quarter, no, the second quarter, no, the third quarter, right? The third quarter of the last millennium, and now here we are in the second quarter of this new millennium. So there's generations far removed, and the way it just takes, I guess, to reach people is so much different, right? And so both of y'all do have this honor that both of y'all have had to work with your fathers as pastors. Now, I for full transparency to everybody, I did too, and I told my daddy I wasn't taking that church over this. I told my daddy no. Like,
you knew your role. Good job.
You knew what your role was, right?
I said, hey, well, I'm not
no, because real talk, there's a lot of pastor kids, and maybe we'll talk about this later, that just took their parents' church and they wasn't called to be no pastor. They just did it. Just because that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be the best engineer in the world. They're supposed to be the best, whatever it is, but they're in the wrong assignment.
Listen, I love Hopkins Park. God bless Hopkins Park, but I was ready to leave Hopkins Park.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so pastor in Hopkins Park wasn't on my mind. None of that was on my mind. So I didn't do it. So, so I'm disqualified in a sense from this conversation because both of y'all have now pastored alongside your fathers, taken over father's church, all that kind of stuff like that, and we're talking about how we're so far removed from these generations. Well, we got, fathers who came up in those times or started pastoring or preaching in those times, and they had to, of course, preach to a group of people, and y'all now pastor your daddy's people to a sense. What is that? What is that like, especially under the context of today's world and knowing that the world is just a different place? But sometimes our seasoned saints, the more seasoned they get, the less likely they are to go with the times changing, and that's just the way it is. It ain't gonna never change. That is what it is. So how do you deal with that? As someone who now is called to a group of people and to a group of people that now have to be brought in. How do you balance that act, and how do you, while at the same time trying to live up to daddy's standard, right?
I'm a rookie in the game, so I'm gonna let the vet go ahead and talk. I'm a rookie. Like, I ain't even in the draft pool yet. You know what I mean?
Well, you in the draft, Doc. I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, man. Like,
well. There's a story in the Bible.
Come on, help us.
Where the man said, "Tell my brothers, don't come this way."
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, you about to find out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You about to find out, and I mean, I don't know. I've never ridden horses. I don't know if you ride horses, but just imagine, I mean, it's your old man giving you his horse and saying, "Here, you ride it."
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I saw you ride it, but now that you gave it to me, like, I mean, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And you don't find out until you start riding. It either,
gotcha.
And then you will have the luxury of, because your father's still alive and around.
Yeah.
He's gonna tell you, tell him to pull it left. He go coach you up. You're like, well, I'm doing it. It ain't going left.
It ain't moving. It ain't going nowhere. I gotta kick him. What I gotta do next?
Yeah. So then part of that becomes you having to learn how to do it yourself, your own way. Then it's now 8 years over in. It's I'll give this to you. What time are we done here?
10:30.
Okay. Oh.
I'm sorry, 10 o'clock. 10
I'm
o'clock.
gonna say,
10:30 from 10 o'clock. My bad.
Perfect. Then put your seat backs up and your tray tables, and prepare for. Here, Rich.
Yeah.
I will say this though.
Yes, sir.
Bible says, "My sheep know my voice, and a stranger they won't follow." So in that metaphor, we deal with, the congregation as sheep.
Okay.
So there's a voice that they know now.
Mm.
You're gonna have to develop your voice for your sheep, and the ones that were used to the other voice are going to have to attenuate. And if they don't, unfortunately, they just won't be eating as much.
Mm.
They may graze and may still be a part of the crowd and the crew, but when you now speak, the ones that run to the front are the ones that know your voice because they're coming to be fed and be led by you.
Gotcha.
So just get your voice together, Doc.
Gotcha. Gotta get your voice. That's right.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah.
Say it with your chest.
Full chest. You gotta say it.
I like, look, even when we talk about, look at it as Zeke, Deacon Jordan.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. Say he's been hearing since he was 11. He was gonna be a preacher. 16.
Wow.
I'm good where I'm at. Like, because church folks and so all of us are PKs on here, so we all understand this. Church folks will make you a preacher like before you thought about you want to be a fireman. Like you at the age where you want to be a fireman, or you want to you still think it's cool to work in at some other job or something, and church folks like, no, you're gonna be a preacher, you're gonna be a so sometimes I find myself wondering like how much or maybe how many preachers, and I'm not saying y'all, but I'm saying just in general, how many preachers, like you said, Rich, like how many preachers are doing it just because it's the expectation that essentially the church gave them to do. And so they went ahead and did it and then get into it and be like, I wish I would not have. I sure wish I wouldn't have done that, I'm wondering, so how do you overcome that thought process, I guess? You know what I mean? Like to really realize that, like, no, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm called to do. I'm grateful that I was groomed for it, because that's the other side of it. When you really called to do it, you had the best grooming in the world at that point. You know what I mean? The best teaching in the world.
A thing that always sticks with me that my father told me was God gives you more on your way. So even if you feel you're this could be something you can't do, or I might be led, or I'm sensing to be led, or like real talk, like my dad even mentioned, he never wanted to be a pastor, right? I didn't ever really learn that from him, but he told me that, and I was just like, oh, interesting. But he walked into it. Now people have said you're gonna be a preacher all day. I've been taught to be a preacher, teach all day. Okay, that's cool, but never a pastor. Now a pastor's coming up, and it's just like I think God will give you more as you go. That's what I would think of it to help my mindset with it. And if I continue in it, I believe His grace is sufficient to handle everything that's coming my way, and I'll be able to handle and take care of it. But it's man, this is a task, man. This is a task, and you gotta know and be confident in your calling and your walk with it. And I think if you can just shut out other voices, outside voices, and tend to really see if you're hearing from the Father and get confident in that with your relationship with Him, that has helped me out tremendously in walking this out. So I think that's with a purpose versus just always waiting for a man to affirm that everything is good with you. You know what I mean?
That's definitely a conversation for another day to really dig into, and we probably need to bring some professionals because think about it. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
To what you said, how many people have been psychologized, from a program that just kept being repeated to them. That this is what you're gonna do.
Yep.
And regardless of what their life experience is and social development would be, you know, but if you hear that a couple of times and then you don't hear anything of that, and ain't nobody else telling you gonna be and can do anything else, you know, but then, you know, nobody knows about the little trinket set you got in the corner in the closet when you done built a robot. You know? They think you're weird for doing that, so you won't, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so like you said, yeah, you could have been, you know, you could have been Elon Musk, but they told you were gonna preach, so he just, well, I'm gonna just preach and teach Sunday school, and be all right.
Yeah, yeah. I talked to quite a couple of people that's in that same position, man, and I said I never wanted to be in that. So I man, that was something else. And because they don't even try other things, they just
that's what I'm saying
right there. And I said, no, I can't just stay right here. There has to be. I need to see other things first. You know what I mean? If I'm really called to do it, I don't have a problem with it. But I don't want to and I don't think no one should just be in this space. You know what I mean? I think you can be even more effective if you get outside of just this space. And that's what I'm learning. So that's been helpful. Very helpful.
So Zeke, this looks like too that maybe y'all kind of speak to it. I'm gonna just use this as a frame, but y'all speak to like the generation behind me. Like y'all are millennials. Like I'm Gen X.
Yeah, the end. Yeah, you're on the tail end. You're on that crossover.
You know, right. I'm the threshold. So I'm Gen X originated, but I'm millennial influenced.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that also speaks to though your parents of a different generation, you know, than mine, ours, some of us. So there's a real transition in a transgenerational thing happening in the church culture, in the faith community, right? Look at what JR is saying here, right? That him having all of those gifts, but then
put that back up,
he knows he's not gonna preach, right? I'm not gonna do it. Well, I ain't gonna do it. That's not what I'm gonna do. You know, I might sing a little bit if they ask me to, but I can serve the ministry. You know, but then they're now his children. We don't know. I don't know. I have no context, so I'm just saying, you know, but because again, we don't know. But I do know that, you know, part of because I know them, if you don't mind me saying, but part of that story is that they're athletes. His brother was an Olympic athlete, right? Jonathan. And so
that's
in their family. So I know his sons are athletes, right? So there are other things that are also in the family and in the family structures. But this transgenerational thing of, you know, again, here it is, you decided to say, no, I'm not going to do it because I want to wear a bandana and, you know, have my hair out. You know, I don't want to have to put a collar on. And, you know.
That part, exactly.
Right.
Sometimes I want to grow my beard out like Jesus.
Right.
First Sunday for, you know. I want to go back to Babyface Zeke. Y'all see Babyface Zeke? I
Babyface
seen Babyface Zeke the other day.
Right. Come on, Babyface Zeke.
I like Jesus Zeke right now. You know, I got Neil put a comment in here. Neil came on my college roommate. He said,
Neil Bell, what up?
He said, Osama. He called me Osama.
Neil Bell.
Yeah, man, that's something to dig into, this transgenerational thing, and then what is the next wave? You know, like, so it's like saying with Rich, what is the church you really gonna pastor gonna look like? You know what I mean? Not in 2 years, but in 10 years when you in the, you know, in the prime, like
yeah,
you know.
I'm still getting it together.
we trying to figure. That's what we trying to figure out. That's what we trying to figure out.
We'll see what
I like that though. Zeke said he had to let them know that God called him from Hopkins Park, not to
come on.
Hopkins Park.
That part right there. Listen, I love Hopkins. I go back when I
might see you back. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't get to go often anymore. That's for sure. But I mean, I still go. I mean, you know, it's still home. I still got memories. It's still my home church. It's still. But at the same time, it's like no, like I mean, if I would have been stuck with that, I don't know that I would be doing stuff globally like I do. I don't know that I'd be a signed gospel artist. I don't know that I'd be on in the morning doing this. You know what I mean? Like, because I just wasn't even around people who knew how to do any of these things that I'm doing right now. I had to go somewhere else to learn how to do the stuff that I'm doing, to be around it. You can't be what you can't see. You know, which is what makes me wonder, like, you know, like we said, you know, because we as PKs, again, we was at church all the time. Y'all know how that was. My dad, the reason we moved to Hopkins Park was because my dad went into full-time ministry. We built the house out in Hopkins Park, and that's the reason we moved out there, which meant that we was literally, when I say literally at the church, literally every day, 7 days a week, literally. Like, I mean, it's just what we knew. And so it would have been so easy, I think, to just dive into that, because y'all know how we could do. We could wake up in the morning and just put on church service, and it'd be the greatest church service somebody saw, because it's just in us. We just know it. We just know what to do, you know. And so, you know, I look at that and I say, okay, if I would have not gone and done some of the things I would have done, hooked up with some of the people I hooked up with, met some of the folks I met, I would have probably done something that may not have given me opportunities, you know. And that was me. That was my personal choice, though. That was my thing. But it makes me wonder, though, how many preachers, you know, y'all think that some preachers, because they've only been around people who have been in the bubble of church, if you will, you know, there's like a bubble. I learned that word when I got to Olivet. Olivet, the bubble. It was bubble. We didn't know any of the stuff that was going on in the community. Meanwhile, I was from the community. I was like, this is not a safe community. Like, I don't know who told y'all that. Like, you know, and it's not as bad over there as the other people tell me. It was a bubble, you know, so like we were in our own little happy world, and people who thrived in the bubble thrived, but they didn't really do well outside of the bubble. So, you know, you put them in front of somebody who talking real stuff, and they no, dude, I'm gonna do that. They got guns out, and they be talked down. You know, all that Holy Ghost, Jesus, this, that, and the other was scary all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Because it was good in the bubble when somebody come down and need a hand laid on and all that stuff. But when somebody who wasn't part of that bubble came with something, people in the bubble couldn't. So it makes me wonder, you know, how many preachers, you know, do we think that some preachers just convenience at the end of the day? It's what I know how to do. I never really was exposed to anything else. And I'm 30 years old now, and I just don't want to have exposure to nothing else. So I'm gonna just go with this. You know what I mean? Like you know, like, and is there room for that? I guess maybe there are some preachers who have done that, but had great impact nonetheless.
Yeah, yeah. History is gonna repeat itself.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have a few that are gonna be successful, and they're gonna repeat and regurgitate and carry on traditions, and they're gonna be good at it. And you know, those I'll be in. If you're saying that, if there's 30 now, you know, by the time I'm 55, they'll be 38.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then you come do a 2-day revival.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and do the stuff that, you know, was done when we were kids. And, you know, there'll be people who will do that versus, you know, again, me, who would at that time be that much older. So I'm coming to teach. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna give you this lesson. I'm gonna call you to action and tell you to go do what the word says. You know, they'll be so that's my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it is a good thing for a deeper conversation. I see JR in the comments say, I got stories to tell. Like,
PK's got stories forever.
PK's got stories, man. They say PK's are the worst ones, but Jesus. Like,
that lack of exposure thing is
huge.
Is significant.
Yes.
Because again, I'm thinking about, and I'm using this. So that we had a great youth service on Friday night. Bunch of young people in there. It's amazing, right? They're going to church, going to town. I mean, it was our God everywhere.
you gotta get the
all of that. All of that. You know, and it just took me back again to, wow, I remember that day when I would have been, you know,
in that.
Probably playing for one of those people, or performing at that service or something.
Yeah.
And I saw one young person, because there was a lot of young people that used to go to our church, and I saw one in particular, and this is to that point, right? The exposure. Saw him there. Then that was Friday. Then Saturday I seen them post. They were at some other service that was going on. Then Sunday I see them post. They had 3 different churches, and so I'm saying that's what they do. Their life is filled and fueled with. So their exposure has been limited to other life experiences, versus me having the privilege and the benefit. I got to move to LA to pursue a career, have other experiences and experience other parts of life.
Yeah.
And even now, one of my buddies who producer, pastor, Nissan Stewart. He's a pastor. I think he's been 16 years, right? But he has a life experience that he can talk about more than just what happened in church.
Yeah.
And then now that's of course ultimately affected his ability to extend his reach.
Yeah.
So they definitely need experiences, but you will have those that the convention or the convocation will be their summer trip.
I'm confident out, Doc. I'm confident out. I'm confident out.
It will. My daughter, Edith, and she's a church girl.
Yeah.
She's with the Soul Children. She was at that service Friday night. So she.
Yeah. But
she also is married with a little bit of experience. She still likes, enjoy life and do that. But then Amory, her sister, she's talking to her friends, gaming. She's in her own world, right? Listen, I'm not doing that on a Friday night. Okay, you can go to church.
You say I got to be there all day Sunday. Why would I do that on Friday as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. It's different generations now. It's just different ways to hit it. And so if you've only been exposed to that one thing, then that's the.
So then when it looks different than what you've only been exposed to, is that what gives the next generation? So like a lot of people talk negatively of them in the means of it's not as holy as it was back then. Is that kind of where that comes from? Because that's what they're used to, what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 100%. Yeah. Yes. It's not it. This is, again, it's I pastor a 100-year-old church, and they ain't never had a man come in there and sing with an earring in his nose.
Wow. Got you.
Woo!
Got you.
Oh boy.
No.
I'm just going to adjust that real quick.
Yeah. So then you get somebody that comes to church or comes back to church, that says, well, I went to church with my grandma when I was a kid, and I went and lived my life. Now I'm coming back as a 40-year-old, and I just ain't used to seeing that.
Yep.
So I don't know how I feel about that. Is that what we doing now? Nah, I'm gonna go to the other church because I feel like when the old lady direct the choir with the robe on.
I feel holier now. Got it. Got it. Wow.
Yeah. Take your pick.
Yeah.
And I've just always been and I guess I just always been in the mindset. It's like, however, I think you said this one time too, Pastor Bill, in the morning prayer one time. He was like, how you get to God, just get to God. Like something along those lines. Like some people need to lay out on the floor and then they do the thing. You was calling us different ways. Some people need to lay out and do the whole thing and do that. That's fine. Some people need to just sit there and just be quiet. Like whatever it is, some people need to turn on the track, and listen to some music. Whatever you need to do, just do it. So, I've always been in the case that, it's going to be some folks who need this. They need Jesus on the main line. And you do it the right way. We sang it yesterday at church.
Jesus
pulled that out of thin air. I started singing.
On the main.
On the main.
I pulled it out of thin air. Turns out Pastor Bill walked into the church singing it too, though. So Jesus was on the main line of APC.
All right, well, y'all was in the vein. Y'all was in the vein.
Like in the vein, bro.
In the vein.
Like, that was crazy. Yeah, I pulled that out of thin air because we were singing "Call 'Em Up," call 'em up. So I like tied the two songs together.
Yeah.
Young people, y'all don't call no more. We don't got calls no more. We text message now. We don't call, so they don't got to sing about the main line. Young people don't understand that song no more. It don't make sense. You know what I mean? But I've always been an advocate of, it's gonna be some people that need Jesus on the main line. It's gonna be some people that need Call 'Em Up, and then it's gonna be some people that need Lecrae. I don't think one is better than the other. I think if the message is the same, then the message is the same. So essentially, it's if you get them with Jesus on the main line, well, somebody around here got that in their repertoire every Sunday.
Yeah.
You can find that. You need if you need to hear some Kirk Franklin, somebody got that in their repertoire. If you need to hear just straight Lecrae, there's a couple churches out on the west side. They do rap, hip hop services and all that. I mean, it's a way. I'm not an advocate for throw away everything else for my way and my way only. I mean, that makes me God in that sense, and I ain't that wise. I can acknowledge that everybody kind of has their thing based on their generation, their culture. That Kojic ain't gonna do it like my granddaddy's church. My granddaddy's church ain't gonna do it like Kojic. And you put one in the other one, they gonna swear that it's the devil going on. The Baptists gonna swear the Kojic is doing too much, and the Kojic gonna swear the Baptists don't know the Lord. It's just. And meanwhile, I know people who will tell you the most religious people on both sides of the aisle. So it's who right, who wrong? Or could it be that
the Bible is right, somebody is wrong? I ain't gonna tell y'all how I get to God because y'all might kick me out to live. But since it's time to go, anyway, we just get to God. As long as what you do is not abusive, it's not harmful, it's not oppressive.
Yeshua!
Turn the camera off.
As long as it don't hurt nobody and you don't hurt yourself, get to God. If you got to crawl, if you got to run, if you got to light a candle, you got to walk on your hands, you got to go swimming, you got to hug a tree, hug it in Jesus' name.
Some people gotta fly. I get you. I love it. Oh,
you gotta light a candle, whatever it takes.
But it's real,
master.
Whatever you do it all in the name of Jesus.
Man. Crazy.
Man, this has been absolutely fun. We definitely got to pick this conversation back up because we are at the 10 o'clock, and I'm trying to. People got to go to work like me. I'm people. So,
I'll see you in a few, Zeke.
Right, exactly. I'll see you in a minute. People do got to go to work. I'm people. But for all the people that did join in with us, I do want to definitely say thank y'all so much. Y'all came on. Some of y'all have been on with us every day since we started. Today, please do me a favor. Go to the YouTube page, youtube.com/Zeke Locke, and please subscribe. It'll come through. I promise this broadcast is better on YouTube than it is on Facebook and Instagram. To my Instagram people, I'm sorry I didn't see no comments today. Instagram was doing what Instagram has been doing. We're going to figure that out. To my Facebook people, profile and the page, I want to say, thank y'all for being here. I want to challenge you to go ahead to YouTube, try that out. But before we get out of here, let me ask my illustrious guest to say any last words. Rich Holmes, I'm going to start off with you. Give them the last words to the people.
Hey, people, I just want to let you know, like I always say, life is choice driven. You will live or die by the choices you choose to make. I got a hint for you. Choose life. I'll talk to y'all next time.
Hey. And then Pastor Bill, we like to leave the people with a word of prayer. So you got any last words and just a quick word of prayer that you can pray over the people? We like to just leave them with a little benediction before we get out. Wish that they
great. No problem. God, we thank you for all this kind people who may view this, who may see this, who may watch this, who may hear this. Let them know that you love them. Remind them that they are the greatest thing that you have ever created, and continue to cover us, keep us, inspire us, and encourage us and let us remember that love is the key and love is the way. God continue to love us, and we thank you for it, and we'll continue to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. In the name and nature of Christ, we pray. Amen. I'm Bill Ellis. I love everybody.
And make sure y'all get on APC tomorrow on YouTube, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's only 1 hour, y'all, 7:30 to 8:30. And if you're on the East Coast, that's of course 8:30. Y'all know how to make it work. Y'all know how to y'all know how to do the maths. Like so please, there you go, right there. There you go, right there. You want to subscribe right here. Yes, I'm so fly. That's right. Right there. You want to tune into that on YouTube. Check out Pastor Bill. See what he's talking about. He's always got something cool and fresh. I go to APC Morgan Park, and to keep on to somebody like me, you got to be talking about something good. So listen, y'all. Remember, you are fly. You are amazing. You are dope. You are my new friends. Y'all my new Mornin family. I love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful and blessed